Hello, listeners, and welcome to a special Dungeons & Dragons in-person game. We are playing the first episode of our Call of Cthulhu Curse of the Pharaoh campaign, entitled Edge of Darkness. Without further ado, let the nightmares and madness begin. Our story begins in March 1924 in the bustling city of Arkham, Massachusetts. Winter has just come to an end, and as the first blossomings of spring appear, the streets are caked with water and ice, the leftovers of winter that are just now beginning to melt away and return to the earth. You've all recently been contacted by Rupert Merriweather, an aging man you've known for some time. Merriweather is unwell and seems not long for this world. He has asked you to meet him at St. Mary's Teaching Hospital at 1 o'clock on Thursday. You haven't seen the man for quite some time, so this urgent summons appears to be quite important. Perhaps he has something to tell you before he dies. But before we go to see him, introduce the characters, and they will each explain how they came to know Mr. Rupert Merriweather and count themselves among his friends. First off, played by M2, we have...
Hi, name's Oliver Hawk. Usually just go by Ollie by my friends. Well, they had me for that matter. Never mind. I stack shelves for a living. It's not much, but it pays the bills. School didn't work out. As for the old man, honestly, just kind of walked in the store one day. Hell, I wasn't even supposed to be there. Kind of took a fancy to the old old man. Started asking some questions, then disappears for a couple of months. Now all of a sudden I'm being called to his bedside. So that's life, I guess.
You weren't even supposed to be there that day. Nope. Next, played by M1, we have...
Good day there. I'm Boots. I'm a very impassionate individual. Just do my job. I met the old man, working on his farm, tendering to his fields, looking after his cattle. Done a few stupid things in my time. Like one day I milked a bull instead of a cow. That's how I only got 2 teeth. One day I was going picking the cotton and I realised it was a black mulberry bush and I was touching poison ivy. So I ran back into the old man's house and I couldn't find him. And I said, it's strange, while this mild paining sensation burning and singeing into my fingers, I then went to go itch something in my eye and it slowly started spiraling out of control.
This is amazing.
So while screaming for the old man and going out in agony,
At some point this is going to
I
lead
found the horse trough, dumped my head in it, and I realised I would never knew how to swim.
You've heard it here, folks. The best piece of role-playing M1 has ever done in all his time with Dungeons & Dragons.
And it has literally nothing to do with anything.
And by the way, I'm Boots.
Yeah. Next up, played by Kitty, we have...
Constable Dick, or Richard, but my friends call me Dick, apparently.
They don't like you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, better choice of friends.
I'm a police officer. I don't know what information is meant to be giving. I'm lost.
So how do you know Rupert Merriweather? Perhaps perhaps once upon a time you did him a favour, got him out of a parking ticket.
I got him out of some prohibition fines.
Yeah, he told you it was cold medicine, and, well, sadly you didn't have the foresight to ask any further questions.
Yeah.
Next up, last but not least, we have, played by Remy,
Newt Baker, a 20-year-old college student who knows
Rupert Merriweather.
Rupert Merriweather.
Obviously very well.
Yeah.
Fuck, what's
Well,
his first name?
It's known as the old
It's
man.
more along the lines of the only reason Newt knows him is because every weekend Newt spends his time down at the local
I said park.
yeah, the park in the chess tables and plays Rupert a couple of games of chess every day. I think the old man was just happy to have someone to talk to. Because he always came to my table and played with me and told me about these stories that I suspect up until soon I always thought were just stories.
I feel like you're probably the only person here that would know him by name.
Yeah.
Known as the old man.
I'm picturing
He didn't have a lot of
a
friends.
Family Guy,
You realise he had this long stay with Brutes on his farm. He's gonna
old
like
guy, Chris Griffin type.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Hey there, it's that chess playing fan.
But nonetheless,
Number two table.
nonetheless, regardless of whether you know, yeah,
Moving on.
regardless of the fact of whether you know Rupert Merriweather well, he seems to consider you friends, and so you all answer his summons. And that coming Thursday, head to St. Mary's Teaching Hospital in downtown Arkham, adjacent to the historic Miskatonic University. The click-clack of students' shoes on the tiled floor echo around the practical bleach-smelling corridors as they follow their lecturing doctors through the training hospital. The entire place is modern, minimal, and soulless. Merriweather's room is filled with family and a battery of life-sustaining machines that fight against the march of death that lingers in the air. As you enter, Merriweather's son and wife look at you and, murmuring something you can't quite hear, they step away, revealing Merriweather, or what's left of him, what he has become on his deathbed in this hospital room. You can hardly recognize the man. He's emaciated. There's barely any flesh left on his bones, and you can see his skeletal structure underneath, in full form underneath his leathery, wasting skin. As he sees you enter, he raises a decrepit hand and makes a motion to his wife and son, who nod grim-faced, and taking one last look at you all, walk by you as they leave the room and shut the door behind him.
Well, he just pulls this, I'm guessing it's the 1920s smoking.
Yeah, you can smoke in a
Just
hospital.
has a cigarette in his mouth, just goes, hell, old man, you look like shit.
I would really like to know how we'd all be responding to that exact situation. Like, this would be like semi-super serious. There's like Dick and Brutes in the background.
Boss?
He adventures of Dick and Brutes.
Oh, God. Well, there's a spin-off we never knew we needed.
You all gather around Merriweather's deathbed, Ollie lighting up a cigarette, which if we were in modern times would probably get him kicked right out of the hospital. But, lighting up a cigarette side of someone's deathbed, that flies in 1924. Merriweather coughs and clears his throat. It sounds like the voice of death. And then, without even saying hello, he just skips over all the pleasantries and coughs once more. And in a warbling, almost inaudible voice, he says, "In my youth, I and some fellow students became involved in what we believed to be an innocent exploration of the occult. Led by a slightly older man named Marion Allen, the six of us purchased an old farmhouse a few miles west of Arkham, near the village of Ross's Corners. There we could conduct seances and other psychical research in privacy. Alas, our work had unforeseen results. Our last experiment summoned an evil force into this world. Instead of attempting to expel the thing, we were afraid and abandoned the old house, confident that the magic that brought the evil into this world would also keep it confined in the vacant house, or send it back after a short time. However, I've since discovered that the spell that binds the entity to the house lasts only as long as the casters live. He coughs and looks at you each in turn, his eyes grim with foreboding. Clears his voice again and continues. I am the last of the group, and I fear that upon my death, the thing will go free and wreak havoc on the folks thereabouts. I'm too old, too ill, and too much of a coward to go back to that house to banish the entity myself. I'm guilty of many things, but my deepest sin was unleashing that horror that fateful night. I'm convinced the entity will escape its confinement on my death. Take the box, he says, gesturing weakly towards an innocuous metal box on the nightstand beside the bed. All the aid I can offer you lies within. You must find the courage to send that thing back where it came from. You must see that this is done. You are the only people I could count upon to assist me in my time of need. Do this for me. Please. And he breaks down into a coughing fit, coughing blood all over the front of him, all over the clean white hospital sheets. Who's gonna take the box?
I was gonna say, just looks at the old man, looks at the box, going,
No. As
Not yet.
I'm just looking at
Examine the box before you
Yeah.
the old man looking at everyone else going, well, I ain't touching it.
So Newt just nods and smiles solemnly at Merriweather, walks over to the nightstand and places his hand on the metal box. And as soon as you do, the ailing Merriweather is suddenly choked by a sudden spasm. He doubles up in the bed, groans, and then coughs forth a huge gout of blood, splattering all of you with bodily fluids, and then falls limp on the bed, eyes shut. I'd like you all to make sand checks.
Oh,
please.
great.
This isn't my first time.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there going, what?
The last to go through his
Alright, sand check, buddy, with your
just
D100.
D100?
Below what
Yeah,
my sanity-
below what
below
your
what
sanity is
your
to
sanity
pass.
is trying to pass. And we're
Below,
off.
then
Yeah.
25. Are you?
Oh, wow!
I got a 95.
Hey, I actually passed. That's a 13.
I got an
You
85.
failed big time.
So if you passed, you lose no sand, but if you fail, you lose 1.
Well, the retail work.
You pass.
Yep.
So
Wow.
what happens if you fail?
If you fail, you lose 1
I was
sand.
gonna say, wow, the retail worker just looks at this guy dying.
Yeah.
It's like, ah, damn.
So-
I passed because I see
Yeah, you've seen this
before.
before.
You've seen it before. I don't know what the hell's going on with my guy,
I'm
but
not
I've watched.
stranger to blood.
I watched a man
Actually-
die, and I just didn't give a
Can I?
shit.
Can I?
You're
Can
just
my guy be so
storytelling.
stupid?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's educated, so he's not that stupid.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You.
Book smart, but
To be
So-
fair, we had to pick the box up anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
First thing I do, kill the guy.
and so here you stand, Newt holding the metal box in his hand, and you're all just standing around the bed, blood and bodily fluid staining the front of your clothing, and there in the
Yes.
bed Merriweather lies, his eyes shut, motionless. Except then suddenly his body starts spasming and twitching, and his eyes under his eyelid are roiling in his skull.
I put the box down.
My cigarette's just falling out of my mouth watching all of this.
You
at this
place-
point.
I've got
I
a
put the
hand.
box
I've got a hand
back
my
on the
gun.
table and
Yep.
hands off.
You place the box on the table and you step back.
I'm not doing this.
Merriweather continues his fit, his spasms there in the hospital bed. What would you like to do?
Nurse!
Can I just bash him?
No! God,
I'm gonna tell everyone to stand back.
because
Yeah.
we already
You're
know.
not taking people in a freaking hospital. I don't
He's
care how dumb
dead.
you are.
We know do we know he's dead?
Well, you have,
I mean, he's
he's
still
having a
moving.
bad turn. You don't know he's dead.
He's
I
about
don't
to
know
be
you
dead
guys,
when I bash
so
him in
I'm
the middle.
tell you to exit the room.
Yep,
'cause
fine.
I'm an
Yeah,
officer.
officer-
Up to now.
Yep, done.
You have to
Done,
do
I'm
something
out. I'm in the hallway. I can't
Can
touch this.
I try
Yep.
to quickly look at the box to see if there's any occult?
Yes, you
markings on it?
can.
You
I'm
get
just-
a chance to look.
I'm just out of the room.
So,
I got
Ollie-
my clothes
Ollie,
on
you
now.
just shout "nurse" and dart out of the room
Oh.
as Constable Dick
Not even gonna
tells
let
everyone
before I
to
die.
step back, give the man some space, and as you all file out of the room, you pick up the box, and I'd like you to please roll sleight of hand to just pick up the box and take it out of the room with
Oh,
you
damn, I
as you
should have
leave.
done that.
With gigantic
I should have
fucking
done
tongue.
that. Oh well, I already left the room, so
Who's-
sorry.
Who's doing sleight of hand?
He is.
He is.
I was
Take the
gonna say I
box.
probably should have done that, but oh well, I left the room already.
30.
30.
No.
Would you like to push it?
May as well.
I should have stayed in the room to do that. I didn't know that was an
I'm gonna
option.
get a 10 or under.
Yikes.
39.
39.
That was worse.
You grab the box and follow Ollie and Boots out of the room as the door is flung open and 3 nurses and a doctor come rushing in, followed by Merriweather's distraught-looking wife and his son. And as they move past you, you notice that Merriweather's son looks straight at you at the box in your hands, and his mouth twitches as if he's about to say something. But then he hears his father make another death rattle and just moves on, thinking better of it. But he has noticed that you're holding it.
He will remember that.
You file out of...
Have an officer of the law.
I'm above. I am the law.
You file out of the room, and one of the nurses shuts the door behind you, leaving you all alone in the hospital corridor outside Merriweather's room. What would you like to do?
Now, can I have a proper look
At the box?
Do you want me to have a look at it?
Well, it depends. If it's going to be an occult check to see if there's any symbols that might be occult.
As far as you can tell, right now, without
Looks
opening it,
like
it's just a metal box.
So there's no markings on it at all.
Yeah, looks like it. You know, it's an old metal box that probably contained shotgun cartridges or something at some point.
Okay.
It's just so you'd just like to open it.
Yeah, I'll hold it out.
Yep, hold it out,
And
and
follow across the room and just watch the contents fall out.
you flick the latch on the front and lift up the metal lid, and it creaks as it opens up. And inside, you find a veritable hoard of objects. Inside the box is a recently written letter, the ink still fresh on the page, a yellowed envelope that upon further inspection contains a deed to a house and a key to its lock, a small sarcophagus-shaped gold box of vaguely Egyptian design, and a long plastic cylinder of some description with a label stuck on the front that simply reads diary entries. So, here is the letter that you find within the box.
That's about it.
You may read it aloud if you wish.
Dear friends, in the years after the nightmarish events of that night in my youth, I have seen many strange things. Only now do I begin to grasp the truth of reality and the scope of what is happening in the world. I've tried, in my small way, to combat the horrors and make amends for my part in bringing one to our plane of existence. What I have left to offer, what riches and wealth I have, I will put to good use in dealing with these abominations. It is the very least this old coward can do. I could never make myself go back to that little farmhouse and put those events to rights. I too gravely feared that which my friends and I loosed upon this countryside. Nothing of consequence has yet taken place, but with my death I fear the bonds will be broken, and that horror free to come and go as it pleases. lives not yet taken already weigh heavily on my conscience. The method of delivering the thing out of this world is still in that accused house. The translations made by Marion from the book The
Vermis
Mysterious. I was never strong enough to take on the task, but I have hope that you are. In ridding this world of this, perhaps you will save my soul from hell. For I fear that my deeds have not been enough to release me from this heavy burden. I do not expect your forgiveness for what I ask of you, Rupert Merriweather.
I feel like it's a bit late for that, buddy.
Yeah.
I know the old guy was a bit rattled in the brain, but this seems weird and then some.
Could I look
At the sarcophagus? Very well. So this is what the sarcophagus looks like.
Oh.
And you may roll.
There's history, Egyptian language, and possibly occult, depending on
You
what-
could roll whichever one you like, whichever one you think would be appropriate.
Okay, so with my Egyptian, would I know that these are Egyptian
Yes,
words?
you can tell that these are. Seem to resemble Egyptian hieroglyphics, but they're a bit different than what you've seen before. Perhaps older.
Okay, I would like to roll an Egyptian language.
Go ahead, go ahead.
It's all Greek to me.
That's better. That's an 18, which is a hard pass.
You?
So, yeah. Did you pass?
Yeah, but a hard pass.
Hard pass. Okay. So you determine that these are Egyptian hieroglyphics. They seem to be of the Middle Kingdom. However, here's the part that stumps you. As you pry the lid off the sarcophagus, you find more hieroglyphics carved into the inside of the lid. And these are distinctly different and not Egyptian at all. I'd like you to make an occult check, please.
Like the mummy was like, yeah, this is just the beginning, scratched into the front, just leave it alone, walk away. Do not read. Do not read from that damn book.
That was a 12, which is also a hard pass.
There you go.
You study these strange hieroglyphics for a moment, and you remember seeing something similar to them in one of the books that Merriweather actually lent you. And they seem to resemble writings that, according to some occultists, can be tied to the lost Pacific continent of Mu, a mythical place.
Would that be?
You could possibly translate these hieroglyphics eventually, as they are similar enough to Egyptian that you could, with time, figure out how to decipher them. However, you feel more confident that perhaps your professor at Miskatonic, Professor Armitage, would be able to do a more efficient job than you. Also, the inside of the sarcophagus is completely empty. Finally, there appears to be the plastic cylinder. Would you like to... Seems to be like a big film cylinder. It's just a black cylinder with a label on the front and a screw-top lid.
I'm looking at the sarcophagus.
Yep,
so
Give
Give it to you, very well.
Yeah, probably better to give it to someone smart,
Yep, so Ollie, you take...
more intelligent than me.
Oh, come on. Why? What's your intelligence at? 'Cause I'm pretty sure you've still got me beat.
50.
Yeah, no, my education's 30, my
Don't be
intelligence
higher
is
than that
40.
much.
Okay, I'll take it.
I ain't a smart boy. I stack shelves. Why am I even
Oh, wait,
here?
wait. My intelligence is better than yours?
Yeah.
So,
Your education is like
Brutes.
But you're
double
also-
1.5.
Brutes is there.
yeah.
Brutes is also going crazy.
Here. You're
I'll
smart.
take it. I'll have a look.
Yep.
Brutes.
So you take the canister, Constable Dick, and
Or
you...
Richard.
Yeah, or Richard. And you unscrew the lid and hold it upside down, and two things drop into your hand. The first is a thin wax cylinder that you quickly identify as a phonograph cartridge, type of tape recording that was common in the 1920s. And
I would think it's pretty
Yeah.
so I would be very familiar.
yes, it's very similar to the kind that, you dictate police reports onto and stuff like that. In addition, a small piece of paper slides out, and you pick it up, and it appears to be a clipping from an old newspaper.
Okay. A murder at the docks, New Orleans, August 12th. The body of Mr. Marion Allen, late of Arkham, Massachusetts, was discovered near the Gulf and Panama docks. A victim of foul play, the man was identified by local witnesses who said that Mr. Allen had been seen in the locale the evening before. Although robbery was the apparent motive, police report that the victim's tongue had been cut out. Marion Allen had reportedly gone to police earlier this week, claiming that he was being followed and that he feared for his life. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
He said his shadowy pursuers were after an Egyptian artifact which he no longer possessed. Alright.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
guessing we're
Like,
after that.
Yeah, it
Marion.
appears so.
Yeah.
So
wow.
you instantly realise that you seem to be caught up in something that's quite a bit bigger than you, and you're not
Yeah.
quite sure what old man Merriweather has pulled you into.
What if I would have been involved in... No, it's
Yeah.
in New Orleans.
Yeah, it was in New Orleans.
Damn.
And
Just ignored it.
so the only other things left in the box are, of course, the deed and the key. And just simply glancing at the deed tells you that both it and the key concern a farm property on Boone Road, Ross's Corners, a village about 2 hours west of Arkham. Not too far from here. This is obviously the farmhouse that Merriweather was referring to. As you bundle all the stuff back into the box and slide the lid shut, pull the latch, suddenly the door to Merriweather's room opens. His wife dashes out, not even looking at you. You see tears lining her face. She quickly buries her face in her hands, lets out a howl of despair, and just runs down the corridor. If you'd like to try to peer past her as she leaves the room, make a spot hidden check, please. Go ahead.
I ain't a smart boy, but I can
I
put two
got
and two together.
81. My spot hidden is 85.
Yes, so you
Wow.
passed. As she rushes out of the door, you peer behind her and you catch, just for a second, a glimpse of what's going on in the room. You see the nurses and the doctors standing solemnly around Merriweather's bed, and they've pulled the sheet to cover his face.
Ah, shit, the spirits got out.
Well, old boy's bought it.
As you look away, Merriweather's son coughs and struts out of the room, slamming the door behind him. He stops, looking at you all, and then he folds his arms, and he just says, "So who are you again? How do you know my father?"
I play chess with him once a week on the weekend. I don't even know.
The old man used to come to my store time and time again. A couple of weird stories he used to tell. Clearly, some of them are a little bit more true than he let on. I thought he was just a kooky old guy.
And we were friends.
He
I did him a favor.
he just nods and he says, "Well, I ain't never heard my dad mention any of your names before, so furthermore, that means that," he says, pointing at the metal box in Newt's hands, "belongs to me."
Excuse me,
Can I
sir.
do an intimidation check?
You can if you
I was
like.
gonna say, I mean, look, no offense, but he called us here. He called us here to give us the box. I don't know why exactly, but
And then he did it in front of a police officer.
oh,
So you've got...
you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to this stuff once we're done with it. But he gave us some specific
Ah,
instructions.
you
I don't know
passed.
why.
So,
Intimidate him.
yep. So you cross your arms and growl at everyone else, while everyone else just explains the situation, and the son backs off a little bit, and he bites his bottom lip, and then his lips curl together, and he falters. He says, but, reaches into his coat pocket and he pulls out a piece of paper and he says, I got it right here. This is my father's will. And it says, right here, all his worldly possessions belong to my son, Bertrand Merriweather. And that's me.
And can I interact with him? And it says, and I'm his farmhand. I tended to his bulls and cattle.
Okay, don't
And
hurt yourself.
I brandish my hand. I've got a little tiny hatchet.
Don't accent. Do you really want to pull
In the
the
middle of the
accent
hospital?
in the middle of the hospital? Are you trying to get your guy killed or
Why the hell am I carrying a hatchet into the hospital for?
Well, you're probably called in from work. You're probably just
Exactly,
chopping
so I'm
firewood or
just carrying my
something.
hatchet and like
Instead of
it's a shame for these things.
Sure you'd rather not just, place your hand on the hilt of the hatchet.
How about you let the police?
Yeah, or let the
officer-
police officer handle it.
Handle this shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I want
There he
you.
is looking at his hatchet.
You're
still
watching.
standing there
You're
going,
just
holding
watching
the box.
this guy going, "What the hell is wrong?" I was
just
just
trying to control the
I was just
situation,
trying
but he's handling
to.
it
I was just
all.
trying to smooth things over with a potentially hostile customer, but Jesus, man, okay, you want to pull a freaking axe out in the middle of a hospital
So,
bed in front of a grieving
I'll
son.
pass him over to Dick.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep flicking the edge of the blade in the background.
Yeah.
You stand quietly and do nothing, big guy.
Well, you already intimidated him before, so whatever Officer Dick will do will be done with advantage.
Just leave the officer Dick.
Oh.
Just.
Excuse me, but I'm a police officer and I witnessed him passing this box over into our possession while he was still alive. Therefore, it doesn't come under, as being his property or part of his possessions as ownership was transferred over.
So I would like you to please make a law check, and you may do it with advantage, which means you roll twice and take the lowest.
Alright.
As opposed to you who is still trying to get yourself arrested and fucking committed while you.
Ooh, that's gonna be an extreme.
That's a
Yeah.
3. Damn.
Can I hold my hatchet away?
She is the law.
Yes.
She is. I am the law.
Can I just lean over to Rich and say, did you get your own way yet? Oh, okay.
I'm just again, just another smoke. Just
Bertrand.
I'm not getting paid for this. How you doing, egghead?
Bertrand takes a breath and he just brandishes the will in the air and he says, but, God damn, it's fine.
That's the law.
He says, fine, take the box. I hope whatever's in it kills you. And then he puts the will back in his coat and he turns around and without saying anything more, he just walks wordlessly down the corridor, his footfalls echoing on the
I
tiles.
feel like if
Nice
I was
meeting.
a modern police officer, I'd be like, it's out of threat!
Yeah.
Nice meeting you too,
So I fired
Bert.
6 warning shots into his back.
Newt calls out to his back, for what it's worth, I am sorry that you just lost your dad.
Just raises his right arm and you hear him say, yeah, as he turns the corner.
How old was this kid?
He's about maybe your age, in his 20s, so
Yeah, a nice kid. Great.
maybe a bit older than you,
Yeah, he probably was.
like maybe in his 30s. So
I was
he,
picturing 30.
yeah.
I mean, he was an old man.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like, 30s or so.
30, 40.
And so here you are in the hospital, you have this box, and you have the key and deed to the farmhouse, and you've been told that there is something in this farmhouse that you have to seal away. However, regardless of whether or not you actually believe this, you feel that perhaps Merriweather didn't tell you the full story, and, it might be a good idea to do some research rather than just heading out directly to Ross's Corners, which is certainly an option if you want to. And so, I could think
I
of...
feel like Dick needs more convincing.
Yeah, Dick probably needs more convincing. He needs to know what the story is here, and... I mean,
Sounds
Newt,
like the ramblings
Newt
of
is
an old
curious.
guy.
Newt's probably curious, but I don't think any of you are curious enough
No.
to just drive out to this
I'm
property.
taking time. If I'm calling off a shift at work, I'm gonna need to put a work
Yeah.
with here,
Well,
man.
Newt is thinking that his professor would be interested in seeing these glyphs.
Yeah,
Whether or not he can help us with it, he would be interested in seeing them.
he would be. So you have a few avenues of research. Obviously, one would be to go get the hieroglyphs properly translated. While you're at the university getting them translated, you could use the renowned Orne Library of Miskatonic University and just see if you can maybe find a reference to this book, De Vermis Mysterious, or anything else that might be related.
I do have library use, so while it's getting translated, I could do that.
That is correct. There is also the matter of Marion Allen's rather grisly-sounding death. That might be an avenue to look into. Finally, you could look into that. Finally, there is the phonograph cylinder, and Merriweather obviously considered this important enough to include it in the box.
Well,
I can get access to a
You
phonograph.
probably can.
And probably the records about that death.
Yes, so you don't have to go together. You can split up and go your separate ways, conduct, agree to all meet later and pull what you've learned and try to get to the bottom of this story.
well, Newt tells the others, these glyphs are really interesting, and well, the old man was always good to me, so I feel like I should probably at least see this a bit through. I'm going to go take these to my professor, see if he can figure out what they mean, and I'm going to see if I can find this book.
Yep, De Vermis Mysterious.
Yeah, the Vermis Mysterious, and I guess if you guys want to meet up again later, where should we meet up?
We can meet at my house.
Write down an address and you hand it to the rest.
I don't even know where I'm gonna go.
It
from
also
here.
occurs to you that there is another avenue of research. Considering Merriweather's wife just ran straight out, you may also pay a visit to Merriweather's home. Perhaps try to speak to his wife. Maybe even get a look around in his home and try to see if there is anything related to this occult interest he professed to having.
I'm going to the uni.
Someone with...
Do me.
And I've got,
Yep.
I've got to do
Do
the police stuff because I'm the only one that can really do it unless you guys want to sneak
Quick
in.
question.
I
Using
still-
education.
Yep.
How can I use that in these as?
Well, your education, you roll it to know, general knowledge.
Well,
So
you
like,
might
so
recognize
more like language
books
Yeah.
or stuff.
yeah, so like,
I can read. That's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, as a police officer, if you wanted everyone to be able to hear what's on the phonograph, you could probably get them in to the police station to listen to it,
Yeah, and they could go over.
and then they can listen to it with you, give input, and then they go off and do their separate things. So,
You
You
guys
go to
wanna
the
come
shops.
listen
Is
for
it-
a-
shopping?
I was gonna say, I don't know what help I'm gonna be with this. Outside of what I do for work, I don't have that many skills or talents. I don't
Let's
know.
go get. I can put my hand on his back and say, "Let's go shotgun shopping."
I don't use it. What the? I don't use a gun. I never find a gun in my life.
How much shop clerk? It's just like
I just no. I.
so is that what you want to do? You want to go buy a gun?
Do you even use guns?
Actually,
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear God, he uses
Because
guns. Oh God, no.
I feel like it's going to be
You
deadly.
have like $9. What kind of gun are you even gonna?
I mean,
buy?
Boots is simple enough that he might, actually believe some of what Merriweather says and feel that he needs to
Yeah,
protect
just go.
himself.
I'm just going. Look, I don't know what's
They're just
going
for very
on.
you guys could try and steal from the police station.
Oh,
If-
actually, that's a fantastic.
I shouldn't be
Oh,
suggesting that.
no,
I take that back. No,
no.
I mean, you might have to help them, but
Look,
so
I
But
might
if
just.
that was the case, I would have to ask.
I was
Yeah.
kidding.
I'd have to ask what you said.
Yeah, I'm
hey, can you I don't know,
Look, I
slice a
got
shotgun?
enough fuss to try to bullshit my way
You
out
could,
of that, but I don't
but-
want to try.
yeah, you don't want to try. So
Look, I don't got much
We
to
play our
roll
cards,
on.
right?
What cards?
If you say, hey, look, we're researching, we're going after this line of inquiry, and we may require some extra service from the police.
well, I mean, they're
But-
unlikely to believe you saying that, but if another officer backed
Exactly.
you up and said we might be going into a dangerous situation, then they might requisition stuff for Officer Dick, not for you.
So they're like rushing up to officer, please, 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 please,
So-
please, get on a shotgun.
Look, Like I said, I only have a very specific
All my
set
other
of
friends
skills,
have got
but I'm
shotguns,
not.
and I have no friends.
I don't want to hang with him. This guy, I've only known this guy
How
like
much
5
is a
minutes.
shotgun?
Shotgun would be
I'm
probably
guessing
more than $10.
More than $9.
I mean,
Someone has spot us
it's
a
very
dollar.
possible you could find like a second-hand shotgun that's, you know, you might be lucky enough. You might get you to do a luck check and see if there's a shotgun that
What's
you
my
might be able
luck?
to afford.
My luck is...
You never roll. I don't think you roll.
I don't think that's
Oh,
at
no,
the top
very
of the
low.
priority
No.
list
Yeah.
right now.
No.
So first order
We're
of
not heading off to the farm
No.
yet.
yeah. So you can probably buy one on the way or something. So first order of business, you decide to accompany Officer Dick
get
to the
bed,
police
just
station.
follow the cop, I guess.
Bid farewell to Newt as he heads across the road to
You guys are
Miskatonic
gonna
University.
listen to a recording,
Yeah,
okay?
Come
Sure,
on,
why not?
Oliver, let's
Well,
go.
you all climb into
It's
Dick's
killed already.
patrol car. Both of you seated in the back. You pull the doors shut behind you, and Officer Dick drives you slowly through downtown Arkham to the nearby police station, about 3-4 blocks away. The small police station is quiet. Entering and letting the sound of the city in draws an irritated glance from the young officer doing the paper crossword behind the reception desk. Quickly goes back to ignoring you as unimportant once he sees who you are. You recognize him, Officer Dick. This is Constable Finn. He's relatively new. He's only been on the force for about a month at this point, and so far most of his duties appear to involve filling out paperwork and greeting people in reception.
Yeah, desk duties. Not even that.
So as you approach him, he just sighs as he writes a word down on the crossword, and he says, "Yes, Constable Dick. You want me to sign these people numbers, write them down in the register for people going in the drunk tank or something?"
No, they're just guests with me.
He says, "Guests? Huh, and you didn't... Here I was thinking you didn't seem like the type to have friends outside of work."
Well, you'd be surprised.
He says, says, "Well, in that case, what can I do for you and your guests here today?"
I'm wanting to get a phonograph.
He says, "Phonograph." He says, "What, making an official recording, or what's the deal here? You know, I have to write down in the log why phonograph room's been accessed, and, you know, I don't want Sarge to yell at me again."
I've got to listen to it there.
Yeah, well, you could just say you've got evidence and you need to listen to it.
We've got evidence we need to come over
That's fair enough. And
for a case that's above your pay grade.
he just writes down, he says,
Yeah.
he
I'm
just...
from the FBC. What's FBC? It's like FBI, but a few letters short.
He scratches something down on the pad in front of him, and he sighs and he says, "Okay, examining evidence. Okay, anything else you'll need today, Constable?"
I'm guessing I'm going to privately look into
Marion Allen's death.
those files, yeah.
So you want to just pull him aside and ask for them, or you just want to ask here?
I was thinking of going to the
Ah, just going on your own. Very well.
Are we allowed to be in police station?
Yes,
Yeah,
Oh,
basically, you've got permission from Officer Dick to be in the phonograph room. You're not allowed to be wandering around.
Can I go around with Oliver, pulling along and say, "We are special agents"?
No, I'm
No,
staying.
you're-
I am
you're-
special
I'm
agent.
staying in the room. The
You
cops
reserved
told me to
to
stay in the room.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
staying in the
Yeah,
room.
do you want to get yourself committed? Because, you know, that's what they did to simple folk back in the time.
I'm not. I'm
there
a
any,
simple guy. I
You're-
stack
you're-
shelves. I'm staying. The cops said
Is there
stay in
any
the
of those
room.
bobbing like little dog heads that you start playing with?
Not in the 1920s. I will just be on my 15th
So-
cigarette of the day. Just kind of
You'll
just.
be restricted to the room.
Yeah.
Cop told me to stay in the room. I'm staying in the room. I don't know you. you from a bar of
So
soap,
while-
believe
Bruce
me. I
is
know.
just lecturing you on how to manicure a garden.
So you thank Officer Finn for his time, and then you lead these two gentlemen through the police station, through the main office, which is basically this big open area with desks for all the patrol officers, and then a couple of little rooms off to the sides for the detectives and the captains. And you nod in greeting to a couple of police officers who look up at you as you lead the men past. And when you get to the other side of the office building, you head down a hallway and head through a metal door at the end, which is the phonograph room, and you pull the cord to turn on the light, and then you see the phonograph machine just sitting there, on the edge of a metal table with a couple of chairs next to it. You pull out the canister, and you realise that even though you've used this machine several times to file reports, usually there's another officer here who sets it up. And so you've never really paid attention to that.
Yeah.
So who has mechanical repair?
Oh no.
I nearly did mechanical
Oh
repair.
god, he's the only one.
Yep.
Oh.
I assigned 40 to this.
Oh,
So
good.
could you please make a mechanical repair check to set up the phonograph, get the canister in without damaging it, and
Do us proud.
54.
Do you want to push? You can
Would
either
you
push
like to
that,
push
or you
that?
can spend 14
or spend
luck.
14 luck if
Can
you
be
can
like,
think you can spare it.
It'll be shit out of luck. I'll also be shit out of sanity too.
No, you're just out of luck.
Oh no, actually I'm trying to roll again.
Now you're going to have to spend
40.
17 luck to, which is like
No, just 7 luck.
no, you. Oh yeah, 7
Yeah,
luck.
7.
Definitely
Okay, so spend
I'll
7.
Spend, 7 luck just
So,
to.
Yep.
Bump yourself down to 23 luck. You are off to a
You
was it
walk over-
25 cent, 23 luck. You are in the
You walk over to the phonograph, and somewhere, perhaps in another life, you've used one of these before. So you ready all of the parts, listen to the recording, take the wax cylinder, slide it into place, flick all the switches, and then pull out a chair and sit down as the phonograph begins to play.
February 27, 1877. Marion Allen has acquired an artifact, purportedly Egyptian. It appears to be a small sarcophagus of gold. Inside, there's a large piece of amber which entraps a specimen of some unknown species of anthropod. Allen is very excited, as the box corresponds to a description he found in an ordinary reference volume in the university's own library. Allen says that in another book, the De Viamus Mysterious is an explanation of the powers of the box. The text says that a very small animal trapped inside the amber is actually the host to a bound jinn, a guide to the spirit world. Allen says the tome mentions that originally there were 4 such pieces of amber contained in the box. There is no mention of what happened to the other 3. We are agreed, and a date has been set to conduct a ceremony intended to summon the jinn, which Allen assures us will be friendly. We have chosen the night of Saturday, 18th of March, the night before the new moon. March 19th, 1877. We began the ceremony as Allen instructed, according to that described in the De Viamus Mysterious. A fire was set in the fireplace, and a pentagram chalked on the floor, marked with appropriate symbols and illuminated by 2 black tapers placed near the center containing the piece of amber with its entrapped spirit. The others sit in a circle while I, the designated watcher, who guards for malevolent spirits, sits in the corner of the room. At least I get the comfort of a chair while the others can look forward to sitting on the floor for hours. Allen throws a handful of powder into the fire, producing an evil-smelling smoke and dampening the flames, which now burn a sputtering green and brown. Those seated on the floor begin the Latin chant Allen has transcribed from his book. After nearly 2 hours, I see a trail of smoke circling from the piece of amber. Its surface seems to be bubbling and melting. Can this be? Have we finally achieved success? I can see a form. March 20th, 1877. We have finished with our plans and have sworn a pact never to speak of what happened last night. We have satisfactorily explained the death of poor Robert and, in some manner, the madness of Harold. The sheriff accepts the explanation of a carriage accident. We planned it well. Robert's neck was broken in the fall, we told him. Harold struck his head on a rock when the horse's leg broke and the carriage rolled. Would it be that it was only that? For the rest of us, we will forever be changed by what we experienced that night. I will write down the true events so that they are not lost completely. The thing formed in the center of the pentagram, shapeless and nearly invisible. Its terrible voice should have given us a clue, but we were so foolish. It spoke then. Alan cast that damned powder onto the gin. The dust of Ibn Ghazi, he calls it. And that's when we could all see it clearly. Words cannot adequately describe the faceless thing with 1,000 mores. It railed and bubbled, never fully revealing itself at any one time. So terrifying was its aspect that I was frozen in place, my pen falling from my nervous fingers. Cecil and Alan seemed as lifeless as myself, while a short, sharp cry issued from Crawford's mouth. Robert, however, rose to his feet, and before anyone could stop him, stepped forward, as though to embrace our horrible guest. With its arms, or those appendages that seemed most like arms, it took hold of poor Robert and twisted his head around as though he was a doll. The lifeless corpse was then thrown back in Harold's lap, and that's when he began that damnable shrieking. The shrieking has not stopped since, even after we've handed him over to the sheriff's men. We still had a chance, apparently. Alan now believes that if we had kept our wits, we could have reversed the summoning and forced the creature back to wherever it came from. But Crawford panicked, and, mistakenly believing it would dispel the creature, reached forward and destroyed part of the pentagram, breaking the seal and ending its effectiveness. Released from that binding symbol, the thing, with a screech that could only have been unholy satisfaction, was ejected from the house, disappearing out the window as a roaring, screaming wind of boiling colors.
That the phonograph recording ends. I would like Officer Dick, Boots, and Ollie to please make sound checks.
Yeah.
That was so casual to explain that.
Oh, don't mind me. I just lost two of my friends. One got his neck snapped like a twig. The other one completely insane, but everything's fine. Spot of tea. Also, we may have...
So, for failing, we'll wait and see what Boots
So I
gets.
guess I'm starting to believe in
Yeah,
I got
well,
a
it sounded
two. I just
believable
don't
enough.
understand what the fuck's going on, and...
49. Like,
Nope.
So for passing, that will be a loss of 1. For failing, it will be a loss of 1d4 minus 1.
I was fully expecting D6 there for a second. God, I'm not going to push the boundaries.
Hey, I
So
got a
1d1
1.
minus 1.
Yeah, so just minimum of 1. So still just going to be 1 loss. Yeah.
Yeah, I lost
So 1D4 minus 1.
1, yep,
Yeah.
with a minimum of 1. It can't go to 0.
3.
So 2. You lose 2 san.
Wow.
So, hearing that,
Yeah.
22 on
hearing that chilling account, you're still not quite sure what to think, but there seemed to be something in Merriweather's words. He seemed genuine, and that frightens you. You are convinced suddenly that perhaps you are dealing with something that you can't quite comprehend.
Just scratching my head going, wait, the old man wants us to deal with this thing?
So
What?
what I think what I would do is get you guys to make notes to give
Yeah,
to
to give to Newt.
And I'm gonna go dig out the
Yep.
files, and then we
Wait.
can go through the
I
files
was gonna
together.
say, wait, which
Like
one
an
do you
adventure?
which one of us do you want us to take
I think
notes?
maybe
the
you could
the
both.
brain-addled
The one that
farthead?
can write.
The one
and
who
read.
can, yeah, the one who has the highest education, who
I
can
am
actually.
illiterate.
Well, you got no, you're not. You are like your education is double mine.
Yeah.
You're writing down notes, buddy.
Don't worry, this is how you write cursive backwards.
And then this man's like, look, I read labels on shelves. That's it. I
I'm
don't
sure
do.
you guys can pick out the significant parts.
So you leave Boots and Ollie in the
This is
phonograph
A.
room with instructions to try and make as accurate a transcript of the recording as they can, so that Newt can read over it later.
Do an education check before you.
So I would like Boots to please make an own language check.
Do I speak my own language?
Well, actually,
It's-
first I would like Ollie to make a listen check.
Okay, listen, I can do. Don't ask me to do my own language, because my own language is only. I'm gonna push that. Of course, that's. Come on, I got a 50-50 chance of making this work. I'm gonna have to spend 4 luck to.
Very well. Well, you pass your listen check, and so you're able to help Boots transcribe this. So, Boots, you may do an own language check with advantage.
Your own language is, unless you have points, then it's just gonna be your.
Same as education, yeah.
So yeah,
You're doing an
should be
education
fine.
check.
Yeah, it's a pass.
Yeah. So with Ollie listening and, you know, trying to and correcting the words that are the words that you can't quite hear, that are trying to decipher the static,
So
you
weird.
Yeah,
manage.
see if you get a hard pass. You know, you had advantage.
Yeah,
You
do
may
it.
as
Yeah,
well.
amazing. If you get a
okay.
hard
Oh,
pass, you'll be able to
yeah.
make an even more accurate one.
No, he won
No,
like
it's
a boss.
okay. You
It's just me
do.
sitting there going, no, snap like like a doll's head. What you've never
Yeah.
seen a doll before?
Never snapped its head off.
I
but
only speak in horse.
being kicked in the head by a horse. But
Doll,
yeah.
let man speak. No, just write the damn thing.
But you know that you managed to produce a reasonably accurate transcription. Of course, it's no substitute for listening to the recording, but there's enough information here that you've got the main salient points of it, and Newt will be able to look over it later. Meanwhile, Officer Dick, Richard, you head over to the records room, and I'd like you to make a luck check, please.
How do I do that?
So you roll luck, and if it's under your luck, you pass. If it's above your luck, you fail.
I got 8.
So you pass. You manage to reach the records room without meeting any other police officers, particularly the detectives, who you know would ask questions, ask why you were trying to get into the records room as you're but a simple patrolman. You open the door and enter the stuffy, dimly lit room. You fumble around until you find the light cord and you pull it, and then you sigh as you realise you have quite the task ahead of you, searching several rows of filing cabinets and shelves to try to find records related to Marion Allen. So I would like you to either make a library use check or a hard intelligence check.
You have libraries,
No, I have one.
You may attempt a hard spot hidden check instead if you like.
What would that,
So make a hard is half of your skill.
Okay, so it'd be 42.
Yeah. If that's better than your library use, you may prefer to do that.
Yeah, I got 27, so that's
Yeah.
a hard pass.
You're just a... That's a hard pass, yeah. You're just a patrol officer, so, you know, you're never really shown how to catalogue things and how to search the records. It's more the detective's job. But you stroll back and forth through the aisles, like, just trying to read the names, hoping that you might, by chance, stumble upon Marion Allen's name. And after about 15 to 20 minutes, you do. You see a manila folder wedged into the end of one of the bookshelves, and there's a tag hanging out the back of it that has the name Allen. Your face brightens up and you rip the folder out and open it, and inside you find a number of goodies. You find the statements of the patrol officers who were called to the scene of his murder and the coroner's report inside the folder. So you carry them over to the small reading desk and read them in the dim, humming light.
So I should read these, actually.
If you would like to. Otherwise I can.
I think you would be better at reading them out. What are you gaining?
Because I can.
Because
I'm just having a
Physical
good time.
props.
I'm just
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the props.
Hey, yeah, you see
You said you want me to try and read?
Yeah, go.
I can't read.
Yeah.
Alright, I was
So, so statement of Warren Harold Detective. Entered Tuesday, August 14th, 1877. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
40 years.
Yeah, he's been dead for quite a while,
Yeah.
it seems.
I was assigned to the case and immediately went to the scene to gather information. Officer Coleman was present. Keeping the dog workers back from the scene. What? Sorry. Officer Coleman was present, keeping the dog workers back from the scene. He informed me that while he was getting assistance, one of the workers had started to rifle through the victim's pockets. He said that he searched the man, but it appeared that no items were stolen. I found the victim's wallet still in his jacket pocket, identifying him as Marion Marcus Allen of Arkham, Massachusetts. No money was found in the wallet or anything else about it. The victim's head had characters carved into it, which is blocked out.
Yeah.
Bone was visible. Ooh. The mouth was open and I could see no sign of his tongue, which looked to have been severed in the room. The man's rib cage had been torn open and the organs had been cut or mutilated in some manner. I request that the medical examiner verify the placement and count of all internal organs. There were some footprints around the body, all on the side, facing the opening in the palm of the crypt. There was some blood dried on the body and ground, but not enough to fit with the wound. I surmise that the killing happened elsewhere and the body was placed at the docks afterward. And there's another one.
Yeah. There's two officers apparently.
Oh, this is 2 different reports.
Yeah. Each
So
filed
this
their
is
own.
the statement of Corman Howard, the patrol officer, entered on the same day. I was on my assigned route through the docks and warehouse quarter, nearing the Gulf and Panama docks at 5:47 a.m. When I saw a sign of a person lying among some shipping crates. I first thought that it was a vagrant asleep. As I moved closer to rouse the subject, I then saw bloodstains. On closer inspection, the victim was dead. He was lying on his back, arms splayed. His chest was opened up with the full contents visible, ribs opened. The head was thrown back and mouth open. Since there was obviously nothing I could do to help the victim, I hurried to the nearest adjacent beat, where I knew I would find Officer Wood. I told him what I... sorry, Dick and Wood.
Yeah. Yep.
I told him what I found and instructed him to get assistance. I would go back and secure the crime scene. When I got back, some dock workers had gathered around and one was endeavouring to go through the victim's pockets. I stopped him and had the men move away from the body. I then inspected the man to make sure nothing was taken. At this time, it was light enough to see details more clearly, and I saw that the mark on the victim's forehead. It was a symbol of unknown origin carved into his skin, as if with a sharp penknife or similar weapon. I found a tarpaulin nearby, which I carefully laid across the victim until detectives could arrive on the scene.
Finally, there's the coroner's report. This one might be a bit difficult to read because of the handwriting, the font, but just try.
Okay. So Marion Marcus Allen, race W. Technically, that should be C.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, back
Did
then.
they say white back then? I think they
Yeah,
did.
I reckon back
Yeah.
then probably was.
Caucasian.
Yeah, they would have just said white back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Sex, male. Type of death, violent. suspicious, unusual, or unnatural. Notification by the police department. Investigation by the police department. Marks and wounds. A single powerful blade thrust to the bottom of the rib cage, cutting upward so as to separate the ribs from the breastbone. Hands were then used to pry the rib cage apart. The tongue was cut out, likely while the victim was dying. There was a symbol of unknown origin carved into the skin of the forehead. The cuts were deep enough so that the symbol was etched into the skull. The victim's liver and heart were missing. Both organs were removed with a sharp blade, although the procedure was crude, so not professional. Police corroborate that no evidence of the missing organs was found at the scene. Abrasions and bruises to the wrists and legs indicate that the victim was tied up and beaten before death.
Jesus.
That's damn.
Stab wound to chest was the probable cause of death.
Oh, well, that was the probable cause of
Yeah.
death. Everything else was just icing on the damn cake.
So
Autopsy ordered, yes. Yeah.
And so reading this, you feel that it's definitely not an ordinary death. The way that this man was murdered would not have been over money or any of the usual motives you would ascribe to murder. And
Pretty in depth.
yeah,
Well, you know, I may steal this wallet, but
yeah,
So as it's a 40-year-old
yeah.
piece,
Would you just like to lift it?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the whole thing.
Right.
Rush back to the phonograph room.
Yep. So you take these things, put them in your bag, and you rush back to the phonograph room just as the other two are finishing their transcription of the recording. You tell them you have everything you need. Is there anything else you'd like to do here at the police station?
I think it's best we make tracks.
Yes, reconvene with Newton
Meet Newt at the
at your
at our
house.
place.
Yeah.
I'm already have an expert in tracking. I will follow our tracks.
You turn off the
I'm just gonna get in the car.
Just sort of like follow the pacing behind.
You turn off the light and pull the door to the phonograph room shut behind you, and you lead the two men back through the police station, nodding in greeting once again to the police officers. As you leave the police station, climb back into your patrol car and begin to make the drive to your home. Meanwhile, we cross over to Newton, who has gone to Miskatonic University, as normal in Call of Cthulhu,
It's fine.
who's gone over to Miskatonic University, one of the renowned centres of learning here in the Miskatonic Valley, and perhaps the crown jewel of Arkham's academic culture. You take in the fresh air, and you feel like you're home, but you're not here to play chess or to socialise. You've got work to do. So what would be your first order of business?
My first order of business would be to go see Professor
Armitage. Yep.
Because I believe that while he's doing his own research, I can go do my own research into looking for this book.
Yes. So you walk across the campus and you head to the east wing of Building 2, which is where the archaeology and occult faculty is located. You climb a flight of stairs to the dusty, rarely tread second floor, where most of the professors who are in charge of the more outlandish subjects are sequestered away by the university, forgotten about, perhaps swept under the rug. And you come to the office door with the plaque reading Professor Henry Armitage, and you just knock on the door, and you hear Professor Armitage's familiar voice. Yes, who is it?
It's Newt Baker, Professor. I have a extracurricular thing that I'm working on, and I feel like your expertise could come in handy. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions.
You hear the sound of a chair scraping across a wooden floor, and then he says, yes, come in. Push open the door and enter into Professor Armitage's messy office, piles of books scattered along the walls, nearly piled up as high as the roof, and you're unsure how he can get any work done on his desk, as it's absolutely covered in loose leaf paper and books and pens and pencils scattered everywhere, and pockmarked with blotches of ink and rings of tea, and there's a mug half full of cold coffee that has a thin layer of dust settled over the top of it. But the man smiles at you under his white bushy beard, and he says, Newton, pleasure. I always enjoy speaking to my most promising student. Please, what can I do for you?
Just a quick question for me.
Yep.
Do I still have the box?
You still have the box. Well, you have the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the only thing that they took was the phonograph
Yeah.
cylinder.
So I open the box and I pull out the sarcophagus and I go, a acquaintance has asked me to look into this rather interesting thing here. As you can see on the outside, they're quite clearly Egyptian hieroglyphics. However, and I open the box to show the glyphs
strange ones on the inside.
I personally don't know what these glyphs are. I believe, if you give me 3 or 4 weeks, I might be able to figure it out. But I feel that someone with your expertise, you may have better luck figuring out what these are. And I was wondering if you would be willing to help me figure it out.
Most curious indeed, he says, stroking his beard as he looks at the hieroglyphics. He says, yes, I think I could translate these. Now, I must make you aware, young Newton, that I usually charge a fee for translation work of $5, but as you've been such a promising student, and I can see you've already made a start on translating some of the Middle Kingdom hieroglyphics here, I could probably do it for $3 if that is something you're willing to do.
Well, this acquaintance of mine made it seem rather urgent that it needs to be done, so yeah, I feel that that would be a fair price. Thank you, Professor.
Yep, so with your spending level of $2, you need only decrease your cash by $1. Okay. So you hand him the money.
I hand him the money. I was just wondering though, Professor, as this was entrusted to my care, I was wondering if we could make a charcoal rubbing of the glyphs, so that I could keep the actual sarcophagus in my possession.
He smiles and he says, good thinking, yes. For reference and preservation, of course, I will do that. It might take at least an hour. I hope you have other business to attend to.
Yes. Well, actually, I do need to go see if our libraries do have a book in stock, but however, do you happen to know if we have a book along with the title of De Vermis Mysteriis?
As you say the words, his eyes go wide and his mouth, his bottom lip just trembles a little bit, and he says, De Vermis Mysteriis.
Yes, I believe that's the one.
He bites his bottom lip, thinks for a moment, is silent. He says, No, I'm quite sure our library has no book by that title, and he just looks away.
Would I see that as sus, or would I need to...
You can make a psychology check.
Rejected sus, but rejecting.
My customer service is
Yeah.
Can I push that?
Yes, you can.
You have the uncanny ability to see through bullshit.
Yeah, because you
Why
read.
do you think all of my
Oh, damn, that was even worse.
You know,
I was
You
gonna say, why do
fail.
you think I
You
passed
have
my
the feeling that perhaps he's not being forward with you, but you're not quite willing to push him on it.
Well,
probably be better to just search the library
yeah,
yourself.
If he says we don't have it now, maybe we have had it in the past.
Yes.
So maybe there will be a potential.
So you thank him for doing this work for you, and you head off to the Orne Library.
Say, oh, I know you can't oversee bullshit. I just don't care. Why do you think I keep
Yeah.
passing all of my sand checks by a clear country mile? People just died in front of me. Just heard accounts of people getting horribly murdered.
The Orne Library is a short walk across the campus from the east wing. You're there within 5 minutes, and the comforting smell of leather-bound books greets you and welcomes you to the renowned Orne Library. Scores of students sit in muted conversations surrounded by piles of lofty tomes under the gaze of the librarians as they file away the day returns. To the back of the building, the door to the restricted area stands sentinel to prying eyes, locked and barred with a sign that simply reads, "Some secrets are left unknown."
Oh, ominous.
That's interesting.
And foreboding as well. Shit, what the hell? I should have come with you. I have
Yeah.
stuff and lockpick. I could have busted in there.
I got a little bit of lockpick.
I can intimidate the lock.
I actually got
Open.
decent stealth and a little bit of lockpick.
So would you like to just search the main library first before
I would
you
imagine that.
consider the restricted section?
Yeah, I would imagine that in a library of this type,
Yeah. there's-
that the librarians would potentially be approachable to ask.
Yes, as you're a student,
Yeah,
they would.
I would first, before I start searching myself, I would like to go and ask a librarian if they've heard of the book.
You approach one of the librarians, a youngish woman, about late 20s, with a mousy face and curly brown hair. And she says, yes, I can. If you're looking for reference material, I can help you. Do you know the title of the book?
Yes, the book is called De Vermis Mysteris.
She says, yes, I know of that title. Unfortunately, it's on a special list in the restricted section. Professor Henry Armitage is the one in charge, I believe. He specifically requested that it can only be checked out with his express written permission. She says, what research are you conducting exactly?
Actually doing some research extracurricularly for an acquaintance who seems to have a rather pressing personal matter. And, yeah, the personal history of said book, and I just thought that finding the book and going through it myself might help.
She frowns and she says, what personal matter, if you don't mind me asking, would be so important that it would require such a special volume?
Well, he was under the impression that, and mind you, I don't take much stock in this myself, but he was under the impression that he had released what did he call it? He called it a spirit to haunt a house. And, well, you know, this was his dying wish that it be checked out. I just feel obligated to at least look into it.
So, you're impressing upon her the personal obligation, or would you like to focus more on the occult side and basically say you want to research the occult aspect of this and see what weight it holds?
I feel like my guy would be more into the occult. Like, he'd
Alright.
be more into the educational side of it.
Please make an occult check.
.24, that is just another pass.
She looks at you. She looks from left to right. behind her shoulder as if checking if the coast is clear, and she says, "Okay, just this once, but it wasn't I who let you in." She reaches down into her shirt, pulls out a small silver key and a necklace, and she pulls it off and hands it to you, and then wordlessly scurries off to help other students. Yeah.
I guess I will go to the restricted section, but try to make sure I'm not seen by any other library members.
Very well. Would like you to make a stealth check, please.
You know what you need? Cloak of invisibility.
Yes. To get in the restricted section,
Yes.
Can I push that?
you can push it.
I literally have a 50-50 chance to
Yeah,
get
of
this.
doing this.
That's a 61. I'm not using all that.
You're not using, so you just want to accept it?
Yeah, I'll just accept it.
Very well. I'd like you to make a luck check, please.
Oh god. I've only got 35 luck. No.
Alright, I'll keep I'll keep,
No problem.
Okay. Making sure no one is watching you, I'm pretty sure that the coast is clear. You head over to the restricted section, insert the key in the lock, you hear the click, you let yourself into this very dark but spacious part of the library, and there doesn't appear to be any light, the only source of light being a small handheld gas lantern. So you take it off its holder on the wall and light it and begin to search the restricted section and begin to search the
If any of these books start
Yeah, I was
screaming,
gonna say-
screaming at you.
Gas lanterns, paperback novels. This sounds great.
And begin to search the dusty shelves.
I'm saying that it was a
I would like you to please make a library use check.
I'm gonna push that.
Someone
Go
looking
ahead.
like friggin' Huggus Phillips doesn't stop wandering through the section
Yeah.
looking for people.
Looking-
Looking very
All it takes
disappointed.
is one set of bad cobwebs and a bad reaction from me, like start swinging this gasoline around. Oh my god, the rare books.
Well, peace fuck.
Yeah, no, I failed that as well.
Failed that as well. Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to look. You're only looking with the light of the lantern, and you find an aisle where Divermus Mysterious would be, except it's not in the spot you expect it to be, and you don't have a lot of time to check the rest of the library to see where it could have gotten to. However, you do find a curious book of Egyptology, and it's sitting right next to where Divermus Mysterious would be. So you pull it out, and you open it and hold the lantern above it, and you just look through, and flipping through, you're actually shocked to find a page that has a drawing of what appears to be the sarcophagus-shaped box.
I reach into my pocket, realise that I'm about 80 years too soon, and don't grab out my camera phone.
Yeah. And it contains a drawing and a short description of the box now in your possession. It notes simply that little is known about the box, although scholars believe it to have been the possession of the little-known Nofru-Ka. Please make a history check.
I'm just waiting
I'm
for
just
the
going
janitor
to
to
write
find
that
it.
word down for
Nofru-Ka.
Just need that one random janitor guy to walk in and go, I found this
And
restricted
that was
section.
a...
Still
Comes
hot.
the rains down in Nothra.
Oh, come on, I'm going to push that.
Push your history.
These dice just like
Yeah,
70s
don't
and
like
80s
you.
at the moment.
Rocking the best hits of the 70s and the 80s.
37, that's a pass.
Oh, thank God.
Pass.
There we go.
Oh boy.
You search your mind, and you remember the name Nofru-Ka. It's not a commonly known name, but you've studied a lot of ancient Egypt and Egyptology, and so you manage to find in your brain the reference to Nofru-Ka. He is a would-be usurper of the Egyptian throne, a priest who lived during the 3rd dynasty of ancient Egypt. The box well, according to legend, he was given a box by the gods, and the box was said to contain jinns that could be called upon to enact some form of service.
That dude knew Imhotep at all. This sounds oddly familiar.
You put two and two together, and you guess that perhaps the box spoken of in legend is the box that you hold in your hands. Is there anything else you would like to try to search for while you're here?
I don't know about the summoning and everything, do I?
No,
Not
that's-
yet.
you find
that's
that out
you
once
guys,
you
yep,
meet up with
so-
us.
Yeah.
Okay,
However, you do know that according to your research, the box you are holding once contained a jinn that could be summoned to enact a service.
okay. Could I have a very quick look, as I feel like I'm running out of time,
Yep.
for any books in the restricted section that might relate to mythical stories about jinns?
Please make a library use check.
Push that.
I feel like your library used to be half decent.
Yeah, he's just not rolling very well.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it's fair.
40.
I was gonna
I'm
say-
more of a rounded student.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
good
not
at
really
any-
That's
into-
look, I'm not gonna complain considering I have
That was
literally
one less than what I just rolled.
That's an
a fail.
improvement.
That's a fail. Yeah. You
That's still better than
search.
Baby steps.
Don't blame
Hold
you
on,
guys.
wait.
Nice guys, getting better.
You begin your search for another book, but you've barely begun your search when you hear muffled voices coming from outside the restricted section, and they're getting louder. Someone is clearly about to enter this portion of the library. What would you like to do?
I would like to quickly douse the flame.
Yep.
Oh, pardon me. So turn the handle to put the wick out, and then
Hide under your cloak.
Yeah, I don't know.
God damn it, well, it beat me to it, yeah.
I would like to try and hide somewhere, probably in the back of the restricted section.
Very well. You quickly douse a flame on the lantern and dash for a hiding spot. Make a stealth check, please.
Section still hot. Is there still
I'm
in
keep-
bed?
Yeah, and because of that, I'm keeping the lantern with me.
Just a
Oh, I can
sweet
tell,
little
and Rickman.
Do I want to push or spend? I don't have that much luck. I'm going to push it.
I don't have that much luck. It's the one stat I actually excel in.
Hey, 27. That's just a
27.
normal pass.
Crouch down at the back of the restricted area, behind a pile of books. Hear the sound of the door being pushed open. And
Something an open book in front of him.
illuminated in the doorway leading out to the main library, you see the silhouettes of two men. They enter the restricted area, and the man in the lead reaches out to the right, and you hear him say, it's meant to be a lantern here.
Do I
Says,
recognise the voice?
no.
Okay.
He says, not to matter. I've got one of those newfangled flashlights. And
He's a rich man. Oh.
hear a click, and then suddenly there's a beam of light scouring through the shelves of the library. And the beam of light quickly passes over your hiding spot, and
And that's where my luck's going to come in.
somehow the men do not notice you hiding there. The light sweeps past your hiding spot, and the two men walk past you into another aisle. Sighing with relief, you get up and you make your way down the aisle, hang the lantern back up on the hook, and slowly pull the door shut behind you as you emerge back into the main part of Orn Library.
Did I know what aisle they went down?
You may make an intelligence check.
I timed this wrong, but just as you hiding behind a book.
Yeah.
Ooh. If I fail this intelligence check, just kill me now. Because intelligence is one I should not fail. And I got a 6, which is an extreme.
Yeah. You didn't have a lot of time to fully search the library, but from what you recall, the aisle they headed down was the aisle that contained, in particular, occult tomes containing forbidden lore.
Okay. Well, I'm going to search out the lady that gave me the key.
Yep, you find her behind the counter at the front of Orne Library, reading the spines of some books that have been newly returned and writing something down on a pad of paper.
I'm going to hand her back her key and just ask her, who were the two elderly gentlemen, or not, but I'll just say elderly going by the voice that you did.
Yeah.
Who were the two elderly gentlemen that just went into the restricted section?
She says, Professor Gray and his protege, Clarence Butterfield, I believe his name is.
What were their names?
Gray and Butterfield.
Yeah, Professor Gray and Clarence Butterfield.
Sorry, that seems like something that should be...
Yeah.
Here I am making notes of everything. And
Yeah.
that's the one that I didn't reach for my pen to make a note of.
It's okay because even if the notes aren't relevant in this episode, they may be in
Yeah.
future episodes. So
And
it's
I
fine.
just make my own stupid notes on the other side that do nothing except make him laugh.
Yeah.
I say thank you. I tell her in a lower tone so that hopefully no one else overhears. I go, it may just have been because I was in a rush, but the book that I was looking for was not in the spot it was supposed to be in. I don't know whether it's relevant, but I'm just letting you know so that
She
no one gets
says,
in trouble for missing books.
she says, the book was not there. Well, I could look up and see if anyone's checked it out.
That would actually be very nice. Thank you.
She says, give me a moment. And she reaches under the counter and grabs a leather-bound tome, opens it, blows away some dust and flips through the pages. And she says, oh. She says, this is strange. She keeps flipping further and further back into the tome. She says, the book was apparently checked out almost 40 years ago and was never returned. She says, it says, Marion Allen.
Ah, crap.
I recognise that name
Yeah,
from
yes,
the
from-
clip-out, the clipping.
Yes, you do.
We
So,
don't have his address.
I was gonna
do we?
say,
No.
one random person that was going through his pockets but didn't take any money. Maybe they weren't taking money. Maybe they took the book and ran.
Yeah.
After violently murdering the living bejesus out of him, taking his tongue because, get to the job right.
Except I don't know any of that yet.
Yeah.
That is strange. Does it have a address by any chance?
She says, no, just a student number, though I feel looking it up at this point would be a dead end, as it's been such a long time ago.
Humour me.
What the
Yeah.
shot? Just for a laugh. Just
Would
for a
she be the one that looks that up, or would I need to go look that up somewhere else?
You'd have to go look it up at, the student registrations, enrollments and stuff.
Could I have that registration number anyway? Thank you.
She copies it down for you and hands you a slip of paper.
Okay, so you just...
She says, well, I hope you find the man. I'm not sure how nobody noticed the book's been missing this long, but if you could get it back, I'm sure someone will be glad.
Well then.
Well,
The plot thickens.
thank you very much for your help, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I need to go see Professor Armitage.
Yes. On the way to Professor Armitage, would you like to quickly stop at at enrollments and just hand
How
them
much
this?
time has passed?
It's been about 40 minutes, but
Yeah, I may as
You
well.
got time.
Yeah, he did say it'd be about an hour, so...
it's on the way to his office. You just stop into the main student union, move up into the enrollments office. And The man on the other side of the desk just nods silently as you tell him what you want. He takes the piece of paper, he looks at the numbers, and raises a hand, a finger, to tell you to wait a moment. You just wait in silence, taking in the sights and sounds of the university campus outside, and after about 5 to 10 minutes he returns, and without saying anything, he just hands you another slip of paper. You take it and you hold it out, and it is an enrollment registration for Marion Allen. It has his student number, his name, his field of study, which is listed as Egyptology, and his place of residence is simply listed as 3 Boone Road, Ross's Corners, which is the same address on the deed.
Farmhouse. Yep.
Oh,
okay.
Yep.
Well, that's... Ain't that just put the dink in winky dink?
You return to the east wing, head up to the Faculty of Archaeology and Occult Studies, and knock on the door of Professor Armitage's office, and he says, Newton, come in, I've just completed the work. And then, with a proud smile on his face, he hands you back the sarcophagus and a piece of paper with the fruits of his research.
Interesting. Okay. Read this out.
If you like, if you can make it out.
I think I can. Seeker of wisdom, servant, son of Yuger, Yong, Seth.
Yog-Sothoth?
Actually, yes. Yuger Seth. So yeah, Yog Sothoth. Yeah.
Fun guy. Moving on.
Yeah.
Deliverer of the people, slaves.
Slaves.
Of in brackets, slaves.
Yep.
Of the water, bearer of the spirits of Hotep,
No, let it have.
Oh god.
child
Hey.
of Thoth, seeker of the wisdom.
Just put it out there. Oh boy. No, let it have. Round 4, motherfucker!
Well, technically round 1.
That's
Yeah.
place. I don't know.
Before
I'm
that.
counting encounters, not timelines.
And yeah, he simply smiles and apologizes that he couldn't make out anything more, and that these names are unfamiliar to him. The names are unfamiliar to him, but this is what he's pretty sure the hieroglyphics say.
Well, thank you, Professor. This has been very helpful. I don't know quite how it relates yet, but I will definitely look into it and see.
Thanks.
Yep.
I don't think you need to let him know anything.
Yeah.
Just thank you, sir.
Thank you. And
I am a
yeah, you're a,
head student,
Yes.
apparently, so I would believe that I'd be somewhat of a kisser.
you would.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you need to let him know the secret business.
I wasn't telling him the secret business. I was just
Just
saying I don't know
thanking
how it
him
relates to
profusely.
what I'm looking into.
Thank you,
And then-
sir. Yeah, that would be my
I'll shut
department.
my
of-
face.
Is there anything
That'd be
else?
My line of inquiry would just be, yeah, thanks, old man, I'm out.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to get done here at the university, or do you feel it is time to meet back up with the others?
I feel that, yeah, I'll probably be needing to head back to the others
Yep.
at this point.
So you head to the address that Officer Richard provided you, which appears to be his home. You find Ollie and Boots waiting for you with Officer Richard, and they're just sitting on the front step of Officer Richard's home, just
Probably smoking.
smoking
Yeah,
and
definitely.
discussing what they found with the patrol car just parked in the driveway. And they see you arrive, they all raise their hands in greeting, and you spend the next hour or so informing each other of what you found. Is there anything in particular that you would not like to share?
I mean, I don't have any reason to hide crap from
people. Like, I don't know what's really going on, so...
Well, you're meant to be our smart boy,
I'm sharing everything that I learned because
so we kind of need you to know the stuff.
Yeah, I'm just going, yeah, this is some weird,
Bruce is
wacky
just trying to
stuff.
impress you with his hatchet skills.
Yeah.
He's really got much.
Juggling hatchets.
He's got much to go on at the moment. He's sort of just throwing his hatchet up in the
Yeah.
air.
so with the successes that they had in transcribing the
Listening to the phonograph.
would they have noted down the part where
Yeah, the gin.
The gin.
where the guy scrubbed out part of
The pentagram.
Yeah,
Yes, that is there.
Would I be able to do an occult check to see how
You
much
may.
that would have affected?
Yeah, you
the
may
symptom?
do an occult check.
Yeah, I'm just railing about the weird crap and going, look, I don't know what's going on. This is some weird stuff. And you're like, aha.
I don't believe in this stuff, but I have done some research into it.
Yeah, well, you didn't
Cool.
hear the recording.
I'm not even supposed-
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he's just like, I'm not even supposed to be here. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, I'm gonna push that.
God damn.
Gah!
What's your...
Cool.
40.
I'm
You
not,
really
spe-
wanna
I'm, not
spend-
I'm not spending 11 luck.
Based
Yeah.
on your limited understanding of what you're able to make out from their transcription, it seems entirely possible that the pentagram was a device intended to bind the spirit or jinn, and breaking it allowed it to escape that limited area and essentially have free reign over the house and its surrounds.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes you believe that it's possible to control this thing with glyphs or something.
Okay, well, I believe that was the only question that I thought
The
of. when I
one
heard
thing
before.
that you do, the one thing that does pique your interest, and I'd like you to make another occult check, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna use yours.
Canut.
I'm gonna push that.
Go
And I'm
ahead.
gonna get more dice. Because
Okay.
I come prepared, damn it.
I randomly rolled a 15.
83! I failed.
Yo,
Yeah.
no shit!
There is something familiar to you about the phrase "the powder of Ibn Ghazi," but you can't quite puzzle out where you've heard it before and don't know what it means.
This is me just sitting there, like, you're sitting there trying to punny him, going, sure we sell that Nile.
With that, you appear to have conducted a fair bit of research, and I would in fact like you each to make intelligence checks.
Oh, yeah.
An idea check to try and see
got
what you
this.
can glean from all this.
Watch me fucking fail.
Do we get the push there?
You can push it if you like, but it's going to be a group check.
Oh, it's a group
I
check.
did. I got a hard pass.
It's a group idea check.
Shit, no, I got a 59 and I'm not spending that much luck. I don't know what the hell we're working with.
Where's my intelligence? Yeah, I got a normal class.
I got
So,
hard.
Yep,
normal,
so that's a group
fail,
pass. Doesn't
fail.
matter about Boots failing. So
He failed, I
from
failed.
what you can understand, the picture you're able to glean is as follows: Alan and Merriweather and their group summoned the jinn or spirit that was contained within the sarcophagus, intending to do some research, speak to it, or some other unknown reason. They originally had it confined to the pentagram. However, due to the events of that night, the spirit ended up having free reign over the farmhouse. And it's apparently quite violent, able to tear people's heads off as if they were dolls. And from what you were able to glean, it can be controlled either through magical glyphs and signs, such as the pentagram. And given that it was a spirit that was summoned through the Divermus Mysterious, if you were able to find the book, you might be able to recite whatever Latin chant was used to summon it, to potentially reverse the summoning and banish it. That seems to, from what you can understand, it seems to be your best option.
I also shared with them that while I didn't think the professor was being suspicious, he did tell me that we didn't have the book at all, whereas I was told by a librarian that there should have been.
Yeah. Yes,
So-
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, I ask, Are you ready to head to Ross's Corners?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
My
got no idea what
my
we're
guys
doing.
still like, I don't know what we're gonna find, man.
Hey,
But
hurry
I
on the
guess
same level as the
first-
egghead.
The first thing we're looking for the book.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
I got
get
no
to the
idea.
farmhouse, search for the book, hopefully everyone comes through it alive.
Sure, why not?
So you, as this first tiny splotches of red appear, signalling the end of the afternoon, the oncoming of sunset, you pile into the officer's patrol car, and he reaches into his glove compartment and pulls out an unfoldable map. Unfolds a map of the Miskatonic Valley. It's time to plot a route to Ross's Corners. Make a navigate check, please, Ollie.
Yay, because somebody actually has navigate in this campaign.
I think I do.
What's yours?
Uh,
Navigate, third.
50.
Oh, I have 50 as well. So if you want to roll as well, we can both have a try at this. 2 heads are better than 1. Especially if I roll a 72.
Yep.
I got a 39.
39.
And
Well,
an 86. So yeah,
Yeah.
I look at the map and go, yeah, it's outside of town, I got nothing.
yeah. Yeah, we might be
Smoking.
officers just looking, okay, we want to stay off the main highway, take this road here, it's going to be quicker. Yeah. And you manage to plot out a route. If you follow it, should get you to Ross's Corners within 2 hours.
yeah, the storm's
Efficiently.
coming through.
I know, it's good.
Uh,
Atmospheric.
Yeah.
Yay,
While we're driving,
Yep.
while we're driving, can I actually just do an occult check to see if I actually
Can work
recognize
any of
those
this
Those
stuff.
names? Yes, you may. So, as the driver turns the key in the ignition, reverses out of the driveway, and begins the drive to Ross's Corners, you sit there studying the translation that Professor Armitage provided to you.
Hey, that is a pass by one!
Hey, take it, just take it.
Take it!
I'm so proud of you.
You do not recognize the names Yog Sothoth or Nar Lothotep.
Yes.
You do recognize the name Thoth as an Egyptian god, also known as the Black Pharaoh in some texts. Even though it has Pharaoh in the name, this was less of a king and more like a deity that enslaved the Egyptian people, forced them to do his bidding, and had them build grand cities and monuments to him, and would punish them with death and pestilence if they displeased him.
Sounds about on par with most Egyptian gods.
So who's driving?
With most gods.
Who does drive auto?
I don't think
I
Boots
have
has
drive.
I've got 30 in one.
30.
I've got 30 in mine as well.
Alright, so let Boots do it. Boots, you may do it with advantage as the navigate check was successful.
Oh, that's a 5. Wow.
Wow!
Damn, son.
Yeah, so Boots knows how to drive. So you soon leave the city limits of Arkham and find yourself wending through the countryside of the Miskatonic Valley. The hills and plains still pockmarked with patches of snow that turn grey and purple and dark purple as the sun begins to set. The drive takes just under 2 hours, and thanks to Boots's driving and Officer Richard's navigation,
Lead foot!
Just like the seats all the way. Just hold on.
Why are the lights
seat
always in
back.
front of me?
the trip is
Seat back. Just put the seat back. Just put the. I think I can.
The trip is simple and uneventful, and you only manage to burn about a third of the gas in the tank.
Nice. That sounds.
To
like,
get to the farmhouse, you pass through Ross's Corners, a hamlet located a few miles west of
2 hours
Arkham.
and a third of the gas. This is really good mile
Yeah,
economy.
Yeah.
efficient driving.
Should we stop at a shop on the way there?
You can if you want. Ross's Corners, as you drive through, seems to consist of a few tired buildings and homes. The prosperity of the local farms has apparently long been in decline here, and according to the decrepit, fading sign that greets you as you come into the town, only 40 people live here. The main street consists of a church, a combination general store and post office and gas station, and a milk depot. And not much
Sounds
else.
Sounds like long. It just sounds like Long
Out of
Murray.
curiosity,
Right?
what's the general atmosphere of the town upon entry? Is it like this, welcome to Sunnydale Farm?
No, it
Oh,
seems
okay.
quite subdued. You don't see anyone out
so really it's
walking.
population us.
It's
Yeah,
just like-
there are
yeah.
very few lights on. There's not even street lights on the main street, and the couple of businesses that are still open appear to be almost empty.
I might stop in the shop. If we
Yep.
can.
Very well. Combination shop. So Boots, you pull up in front of the combination general store, post office, and gas station. You turn off the engine.
Which one's the break?
Well,
Do we have to do
you
that?
don't well, that is a part of this scenario, is how well you were at driving here. You may, have used up more petrol, and, in case you need to make a speedy getaway from something, that would have come into play. That's what happened with Liam's group when we ran this, is some of them tried to escape in the car and didn't have any petrol left.
Ah.
Yeah.
So we should fill up the car.
Yeah,
Hey, we've
well,
got 2/3
you've still
of the
got,
tank,
yeah, you've
so
still
we're
got
doing
plenty
pretty
left. So, stop, climb out, step out into this nearly abandoned-looking main street and head into the small building that serves as the general store and post office. Push open the door, and the blinds rattle, and you hear a small bell tinkle as you enter. And the shop is almost empty. The shelves are stocked with basic supplies, canned food, provisions, camping supplies, hunting goods, but the selection is sparse, and clearly this shop doesn't get a lot of business. As you enter, I'd like you all to make spot hidden checks.
Holy shit, that's a 1. Alright, well, cool. My years of retail.
I got 65, which is a pass.
You got 14. I'm on the-
14.
I was gonna say, my years
14,
of
yeah.
retail work, I can see everything.
My
at
spot
this
hidden
store.
is a 10.
Yes.
No, your spot hidden would be just normal, so it's 25.
Yeah.
Spot hidden's 25.
Yeah, 25, so you pass. You all notice as you
Yay.
enter, there's a small community notice board just on the wall, right as you enter through the door. And taking pride of place in the front of it is a black and white, grainy photograph of a woman. Looks maybe about 40 years old, slightly wrinkled, weathered face, hair worn up in a bun, and it says in big, bold font, "Missing."
I think we know who this is.
Would I recognize this photograph being of the Lao?
Make an education check, please.
I am the owl.
That's 47, so just a fail.
It,
Oh, just a
yeah.
By 2 points.
Takes. Would you like to spend 2 luck to
Yeah,
pass?
fuck it.
Why not?
Yeah. It takes a moment, but you think the face is familiar, and you just stare at it for a minute, and then you read the name underneath, Maggie McPherter, and that's what jogs your memory. You remember this case being filed. In fact, you were the one who filled out the paperwork about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. Apparently, this woman, Maggie McPherter, the wife of a farmer in Ross's Corners, just vanished without a trace. She went out to feed the livestock one evening and never returned. And there's been no trace of her since, and because Ross's Corners is quite a bit ways from Arkham, the Arkham Police Department never really bothered to send anyone to do a proper investigation to look for her. You then remember the details of the case, and you remember Maggie's place of residence, 2 Boone Road, Ross's Corners,
Next to.
Next door.
the farm that is literally the neighbouring property. And as you remember this, sound check, please.
Hey.
That is a fail.
That will be a loss of 1 sound. You hear a sort of ragged old woman's voice calling out to you. Ah, yes, poor Maggie. Went out to feed the horses, never seen again. Any suspicious looks you might have got today in town are probably on account of that. Folks are a little shy about strangers right now. Don't think nothing of it. And you look over at the source of the voice and see an hunched over old lady, maybe 60, 70 years old, behind the counter of the general store, and she's just looking at you all with a somber smile on her face. Nope.
No, not dead yet.
No, we found some more information.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1 on the spot hidden check in the retail store. Years of retail research. Just walk in the store. It's like friggin' like Eagle Vision from Assassin's Creed. Just
Yeah. There was
see everything.
over there.
and there's a
I was
poster.
Lieutenant Chris.
Yeah.
Where would I be? Aisle 3, left hand side. Second
There's
floor.
a poster of a missing woman who went out. She was a farmer. She went out to feed the horses, never came back. And Officer Richard remembered filing this case and remembered that the woman's place of residence was number 2 Boone Road, Ross's Corners, the neighbouring farm. So now the old lady who runs the general store is just telling you, musing a bit on the case. And she says, anyway, we don't often get out of towners. What brings you to this godforsaken hole in the road?
Well, I suppose I could tell her that I've got police officer.
Yeah, well, you're wearing a uniform, so
Well, I've got my badge at least.
yeah, you're just going to tell her you're looking into the case?
Yeah. Yeah.
She says,
Do you have any information that might help?
She says, oh, about time they sent somebody down from Arkham. I thought they'd forgotten all about us.
We're short staffed.
Has been.
Yeah. She says,
No, for the missing
yeah,
one,
she's
the
only
next
been,
couple of
yeah, a
weeks.
couple of
Yeah.
weeks. She says, say, I hope you don't mind me asking, but where do you plan on starting your search? Because, you know, there are a lot of stories about that old farmhouse next to the McFurda farm.
I think we should start with her house, to be honest.
I was going to say it probably would make more sense to start next door because that'd be most likely where she went missing.
I would say the best place to start
What
would
if
be
she, yeah, but
asking
why did she go
local
missing?
people
Did she have
where
Yeah.
to
the book?
start.
She might have had the book.
Maybe. The old lady looks at you and she says, well, as far as I know, as far as everyone in town is saying, she went out to feed the horses. You see, she went out at night, actually. That's the strange thing. You see, she'd forgotten to feed the horses that day. She went out to feed them at night. And, well, she never came back. Her husband, old Mac, said that he went to look for her and he found some storm damage on the fence, and one of the horses appears to have gotten away, probably onto the neighbouring farm. And that's likely where Maggie went to search
Yeah,
for
I'm
it.
sure that's where she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to know why she went there.
As she mentions the neighbouring farm, she just visibly shudders.
Well, I suppose no one has lived there.
She says, well, no one lives there, but there used to be a Mr. Merriweather, some man from Arkham. Well, he's owned it for years as far as I know, but he's done nothing with it. Which is strange, you know, people in a town like this, we make it our business to know who is responsible for the local property, but for several decades now, he's just let that place languish. It's overrun with weeds, and the house is damn near falling apart at this point. She says, but that's the thing. Maybe you did the right thing. You see, the locals say it's haunted. So maybe Mr. Merriweather just decided he wanted nothing to do with it.
Fair.
She clasps her hands together and she says, well, anyway, you've come into my general store, so you must be needing something. Please, take a look around. I hope you find what you need, and I hope you find what happened to that dear woman.
I want to see if she has paint.
See if she has paint. Please make a luck check.
The photographs say that the pentagram had to be made out of chalk.
It says they made it out of chalk.
They made it out of chalk.
But you don't know if that means it has to be made out of chalk.
Would chalk have been invented back when
Yeah,
it
it
was
has-
written?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have had chalk.
Yeah,
Just
chalk's
on the
it.
lines.
No, I
Yeah,
mean back
yeah.
when the original...
Well, they had it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it had some a bit of artistic license.
Yes.
with it.
Chalk definitely existed back then.
Yeah, definitely. I
Considering
mean,
it was formed back in the Cretaceous
Yeah, well,
period. It
that's
was.
right.
Fair, fair enough.
Well, we'll go with no. That's most
yes.
definitely.
see you M1. We'll see you tomorrow.
Then should I look for chalk?
That's right.
Yeah, well, you can look for chalk.
Yes.
Either way, make a luck check to see if the general store has what you need.
Yeah, I'm not saying paint is wrong. I'm just saying I thought it said on the phone.
That was a fail.
That was a fail.
Can I look?
You can look, yeah. You can try a luck check.
Perfect. Significantly high now. Well, that's a 19.
You can each
That's
try
a pass.
once. Yep. So, Officer Richard is unable to find it at first, but you have a search.
Yeah,
You
it's just
know,
me going.
you know where people put things on shelves, and it may not be entirely obvious where the
Aisle
thing.
6, 3 rows down, left
Yeah.
hand corner.
It may not be entirely obvious where what you're looking for is stocked, and you eventually find a few cans of paint and some chalk and some charcoal and things like that at the back of the store, tucked behind a couple of wooden crates containing canned food. Paint comes in multiple colours, and the chalk, so does the chalk, and there appears to be quite a decent supply of it.
Alright, I think I want to grab just some regular white chalk and paint both, because why not both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to look, can I look for more stuff? Or can I get them to look for
Yeah, what would you like to look for?
some matches maybe?
Matches?
Candles?
Okay, so yep, sources of light. So please, Newt, you do a luck check for that.
Would I have a torch being a police officer?
No, they'd be too
Yeah,
expensive to be issued to a just a
Yeah.
patrol officer. You'd have a lantern in the back of your car, but
Oh, that's a fail.
it's a fail.
So do I get to make a look for that, or is it?
Yeah, I'm going to roll for Boots. Boots calls out, over here, and you head over to the aisle next to where the chalk and paint is, and you find a tiny display that has a couple of boxes of matches stacked up and some camping lanterns and and a couple packs of candles.
Alright, cool. I want to get all those things.
Yep. So you take them over to the counter, and the old lady takes them, and she bashes some keys on the old mechanical cash register and writes some stuff down on a piece of paper in front of her, and she says, candles, paint, that'll be $4.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, so 2, so you only have to decrease by 2, because you have a spending level of 2. She says, anything else, as she hands you a handwritten receipt.
That should be set.
Yeah, my brain just
Yep,
totally
cash will be
brake
set at
farted
7.
then.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else that we
I
want?
need to write down those. I got some candles. Chalk,
Yeah, there's nothing that
matches.
Newt wants.
Yeah, I don't even know what the
As
hell.
far as Newt's concerned, we're just going to a house
Oh,
to
okay.
satisfy
Yeah.
the dying
That's,
wish
pretty,
for...
that's
Yeah.
pretty much what I'm doing.
Well,
I
yeah.
got no
Because
idea.
you didn't hear the
Things that we
recording.
heard.
Yeah, things
but-
that we've heard, but...
But he didn't hear them. He
Well,
just
right.
read the record. He just read the
Yeah,
transcript.
yeah,
He
I've read
didn't hear the
transcript, I
voice.
didn't-
Again,
voice.
I'm nervous about this whole thing, but I still have no real idea what the
Yeah.
hell we're working with
I'm
here.
a police officer. I like to get shit
Yeah,
done.
you're gonna get shit
I
done.
stack shelves. I'm a long way away from my company,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
why
at the
am I
same
here?
time, I'm a student who studies history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know this artifact is intriguing,
Yeah,
and
I know
that's
the
basically
artifact's
what's.
intriguing, and I know that the glyphs say something interesting, but I'm not
Yeah,
halfway convinced that something supernatural is happening.
that's a fair assessment. So, nothing else you'd like to buy?
Not for Newt.
Not for Newt. Very well. Boots just fingers the hilt of his axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm awake.
Boots just fingers the hilt of his axe, and Ollie doesn't want to buy anything. So with that, you thank the old lady, exit the general store, climb back into the car, and Boots takes the wheel once again as he drives you out to the farmhouse. The ancient farmhouse sits back away from Boone Road down an overgrown path. As the car approaches it, I'd like you all to make spot hidden checks, please.
Nope.
Can I push that?
Yes, you can.
Let's
Roll
see a
for-
thing. I'm clearly just in the back smoking. I don't see a damn thing.
That's a
What
failure.
is... so 14?
Yeah, that would be a pass.
That's
a hard
that's
pass,
an
yeah.
insane pass.
An extreme pass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's right, you've got 85.
Because I
Yeah.
my
Oh, yeah,
my
no,
spot
that's
hidden's
definitely
85.
extreme for her. So
I'm gonna push mine.
what do
so-
your cop eyes see?
I cop
The
I
eagle
see
eye.
everything.
The eagle eyes of the law see all.
And then I got 17 from a 60.
So it'd be hard
That's
pass?
just a hard pass, yeah.
And then it's just me in the back seat going, why am I? Hey, why am I here?
So everyone else is mainly oblivious, but you notice.
You ain't smoking normal
Yeah.
cigarettes anymore.
You notice
a long
a
day.
gnarled dead tree blackened by perhaps a lightning strike in years past, which marks the turnoff for the path leading to the farmhouse. Feel a shiver down your spine, perhaps involuntary, unbidden, as you see this gnarled tree. And then the car continues down the path. The farmhouse becomes visible after you travel for a short distance along the path through the trees. The road is a wide, weed-grown gravel track leading to the farmhouse and to the remains of a large barn. The house is of 18th century saltbox design, with a high-peaked roof and windows flanked by sagging shutters. While most of the windows are broken, the ones that are still intact are filthy and resemble frosted glass due to the years of dirt and dust. It's a single-story structure comprising 2 rooms with a windowless attic overhead. The roof is a little bowed, but all the shingles are intact. The whole place exudes a strange and unsettling atmosphere. Please make listen checks.
Oh.
That is 17, which is a hard pass.
Would I push? I'm not spending 7 months. I don't have
Yep.
any.
Oh,
I
you
got-
didn't put anything in this one?
No.
Nope.
I get a hard pass.
I probably should have though, because I'm a
You
fucking
really
student.
should have.
Yeah, you think so? Oh well.
I got 20.
Yep.
And, that is a hard
As the car grinds to a halt on the dirt track in front of the house, and Boots kills the engine, you all climb out, taking your first steps onto the farm grounds. And Ollie and Officer Dick, you both notice that it's terribly quiet. There is no bird song in the trees. There is no sounds of insects, no woodland animals, only the sound of the many branches swaying in the breeze. It's as if this house has been waiting for you for many years.
I feel like I'm still just looking
Yeah.
for the box, like just not really paying attention to
Again,
what's around.
I'm just
us.
doing that whole looking around going, I really don't know why I'm doing this. Why am I here?
We're gonna die.
So, now that you're here, what would you like to do? There's the house, there's a barn a bit beyond it, and there's the grounds themselves.
What time of day is it?
It appears to be about maybe 5:30 or so. The sky is bright red.
So,
We've got maybe an hour or so of daylight left, maybe even less.
So do we
About 40 minutes.
So we only have the one lantern that we're working with.
Yeah, the one that's in
Yeah.
the back of the officer's car.
So
I mean, we've got candles.
You got candles, yeah.
yeah. It's just obviously we'd have to be. I was gonna say if we're splitting up, do we want to be? Do we want to go together so we all have like light to work with, or do we want to split up and then just one of us takes a candle and hope nothing happens to the candle?
I'm trying to think what a student who doesn't believe that this is really supernatural is thinking.
Probably just wants to look around and see
Let's
if
split
there's
up
any.
and look for clues, gang.
Well, I want to inspect the grounds.
Yeah,
That's fair enough.
I'm just gonna walk in and have a look at where this pentagram was supposed
Okay,
to
You're
be.
so
going
you're-
straight in.
You're just
Yeah,
gonna head
boy.
straight in. So you walk
Gonna
up to
stick
the
with cop, I know,
crumbling.
again.
You come with me.
Yeah, yep, I'm with you, officer.
You
Constable.
walk up to the crumbling salt box house as Boots follows behind you, hand on his hatchet. You climb up the front step onto the veranda, the wood of which nearly crumbles under your weight, old and mouldy and damp. You reach for the key, insert it into the lock, and step inside. Meanwhile, you two, as you search the grounds, I'd like you to make spot hidden checks, please.
Keep telling you, sir. Keep
I
telling
got
you.
21. So that is a extreme pass.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Right, say 21.
Wait.
21 would be just a hard pass, or just under an extreme pass, because if it's...
Wait, what's an extreme pass?
Is
Like,
a
how's that
fifth
calculated?
of your skill.
Oh, okay, no.
Yep.
No.
And then there's
No,
me
it's
with a
just,
94 going, I got no idea
Yeah,
what the hell
it's
I'm
just-
looking
It's
for.
just a hard pass.
Yeah, so you're just following along as the officers
Yep,
searching the
I'm following
grounds.
you. I step where you step, I touch nothing.
So the open ground in between the house and the barn is covered with wildflowers, the first ones of spring that trying their best to push through the last remaining dregs of snow. There's a dense patch of these in front of the house where a flower and vegetable garden once grew. Untended, the vegetables fight for their survival against encroaching weeds. Amongst it all, you see a small grey lump just lying behind a tuft of wildflowers and overgrown vegetables. And as you get closer, you realise that it is the body of a raccoon staring up into the sky as maggots feast on its bloodied
like it just
chest.
dropped dead.
It's just,
Yeah.
Bloody chest.
Bloodied chest, yes. The
Um,
animal's breast is stained with clotted blood, and a large hole appears to have been bored into its chest.
Oh.
The hole is currently filled with maggots.
I hate
going
myself,
about
but I
their
want to
duty.
inspect it.
But, so, yeah, it's a raccoon that just happens to have died in the exact manner that,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
How
want to.
different?
I want to see if it's similar to what was explained.
you may make a medicine or a natural world check, or maybe even a first aid check.
I'll go with first aid.
and it's just me going, yep, that's a damn dead raccoon.
That is a pass.
So you can't easily determine the cause of death. You're not a doctor or a veterinarian, but you do notice that the animal's ribs have apparently been wrenched apart, and
So the same.
where its heart would be, there's just a bloody cavity. It's possible that a fox could have done this, but you have an uneasy feeling after noticing the edges of the wound, which are just too smooth to suggest that another animal was responsible for this.
Well, it was the same as what was described in that police report.
Autopsy report.
Yeah, that autopsy report.
It's me trying to take this seriously, but at the same time I'm just sitting here going, Kalima, 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 Ishni.
Yep.
Check its head. Yeah, I'll check its head for that carving.
Lean over and just lift up its head, and aside from its eyes appearing to be frozen in an expression of pure terror, there are no markings.
Maybe it was too small to sacrifice.
Perhaps.
Just food.
From where you are, there is a trail that leads beyond the house towards the crumbling barn, and then the same trail leads further onwards beyond the barn into what is left of a grazing field brushing up against a tree line of the nearby woods.
Boots was good at tracking, wasn't he?
He was, but he's gone into the house.
Oh, god damn it. Boots!
As I said, do we want to check the barn?
Oh, did Boots go with me?
Yeah, he's gone
Yeah.
with you in the house.
Yeah, if we're going to split the party, might as well make it an even 50-50. Do we want to check the barn?
I seem to remember in another campaign when the barn was checked, things going bad.
I mean, it's going to go bad regardless. This is essentially where the climax is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, things are going to go bad regardless, so... I don't know.
Check the place out.
I know
Yeah.
we're checking
Again,
the
I'm just following you, so you're the cop here. You tell me.
Meanwhile, we cross over to Newton and Boots as Newt pushes open the door and it creaks loudly, seemingly echoing through the whole grounds, and steps into the darkness inside. As you step in, I'd like you to make a spot hidden check, please, Newt.
That push it.
Those dice hate you.
They do, but I'm not giving up on them. Oh, well, that's an 8.
An 8. Lovely.
And my spot hidden is 60, so that's 8.
Yeah.
No.
As you enter the house, you catch something in the corner of your eye, and you notice that etched into the door frame, and as you stop to investigate, into the window sills looking into the front room are strange occult-looking symbols, like a 5-pointed star with with what appears to be an eye of some sort,
Oh,
just
yeah.
drawn straight in the
Oh,
middle, and
wait.
there's just a row of them carved into the top of the door frame and the bottom of the windowsill.
I love that you guys know what this is, and I legitimately don't.
I don't know what it is, but even I'm not dumb enough to go, oh, that just seems perfectly okay. And
Can I do an occult check?
You may.
Oh, boy, this sounds like fun.
Oh, fuck with these dice. I'm gonna push that.
Go ahead.
Push you. Push.
That's not 90.
Nice. You cannot recognize their purpose off the top of your head. All they speak to you is of unspeakable acts done here in the name of power and curiosity. And in fact, they make you feel even more uneasy as you contemplate them. You try to put it out of your mind and you follow Boots into the house, into the front room. Stepping through the front door of the farmhouse, the front room is dirty and long untouched. A foul odour greets you. Dust lies thickly on the furniture and the empty shelves, while dead leaves and detritus cover the floor. An iron stove rests against a wall. The ventilation pipe still connected to the outside. There is a round table with chairs near the stove. The wooden floor is warped and stained, the result of water leaking through the roof and ceiling. Rot is eaten away at a table, an old couch, and the matching armchair. Perhaps these mouldering pieces of furniture are the source of the foul odour in the room. Near the entrance to the second room is a narrow opening in the floor, revealing a steep flight of steps leading down to a cellar.
Can I say that I've got the box?
Yep, you've got it with you. Yep.
We assumed you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
We just let you have that one.
Yeah. Okay. Did the phonograph say where they did the ritual?
From what you can tell, it was done in the front room.
Yeah.
So this very room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was with the fireplace.
Can I look around to see if there's any...
Yes, you may.
As unlikely as it is, if the chalk...
You may make either an occult check or a spot hidden check.
I'll go spot hidden first,
Yep.
because that's higher, and then if I find anything, then I guess I can probably do it.
Yeah. I don't know, you and occult checks just don't seem to be rolling well tonight.
push it or use something?
Do you, champ?
I'm gonna push it. Push it. I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna push it. That's a pass.
It's a pass. Look around the room, searching underneath behind the mouldy furniture. And there you see it. No chalk as such, but scratches in the warped floorboards. You can just make out the outline of not a pentagram, but a larger version of the signs etched into the door frame and the windows. And one of the star's points appears to have been scrubbed away.
So it's etched.
Well, it's not really etched, it's just scratches.
Scratches.
Yeah, like they were really, like rubbing the chalk really hard on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean we can't fix it?
Maybe you could redraw over it, but as you see this, please make a listen check.
Bullshit.
Yep.
Rolls, my friend. What the hell?
Number 80.
Remember the hits in the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
You hear a creak. Wood creaking as if a weight is pressing down upon it somewhere in the vicinity, but you can't pinpoint where from, and it may just be the house settling. Meanwhile, we head back outside to Officer Richard and Ollie. Would you like to check the barn, or would you like to join Boots and Newt in the house?
I'll follow your footsteps on this one.
Well, I'm thinking we either regroup before we head to the barn, or go to after we get more information. You sound like you're about to die. Like you're just fine.
He's fine. He's gonna
Maybe.
Yes, probably not.
Oh wait, no, I don't want to use the cursed dice. Wait, I'm not rolling anything
Yeah,
yet.
you're rolling up to decide what you
On the
want.
farm.
Yeah.
On the damn farm.
Decide what you
paranoia
want to
has
do.
set in.
Yes, because you're in the climax of the scenario now. So
I'm going to head towards the barn.
very well. Cautiously,
Step by
hand
step.
on your gun as Ollie follows behind you.
Is there like a shovel I can handle?
I got like a small knife. That's like
Yeah.
that's literally all I got. I
You
use
got a
this-
box opener.
If
Yeah.
those things were still around, it's likely they'd be in the barn.
Yeah.
Seemingly in danger of collapse, the barn sits listing to one side, its wooden slatted walls let light cast over the junk and rusting equipment inside. However, without entering, you'll be unable to tell if there's anything of note within.
Of course.
So the tracks lead inside the barn.
The trail does, yeah. It just
Yeah.
moves past that. You haven't seen any tracks, just a trail, like a dirt trail that seems to just wend around the farmhouse.
Oh, I thought it was like a blood trail.
Oh no!
So a
Yeah, no, just
pathway, basically.
yeah,
It's just a
yeah, pathway. But that said, as you approach the barn, please make a spot hidden check, the both of you.
Let me try, but I don't want to keep asking.
I passed. I passed.
I got a
do-
7, so I got extreme.
You do notice in the dirt a faint imprint of what appears to be a human shoe pointing towards the barn.
Okay. Should I announce myself?
Seems like a very small knife behind the cop is going, yep, this is fine. This is just fine. Yep. Is it an imprint of a shoe or an actual? Just an imprint.
Imprint, a footprint. Yeah.
Does it look recent?
Looks fairly recent, though. What looks. It's certainly not a few days old. It looks as if, it's at least a few weeks old. It's only faintly visible, like it's mostly been covered back up by dust and dirt, and that's why you can't actually see any other footprints leading up
So
to
it
it.
was like leading to the bar.
Yeah.
I want to call out for the woman.
I'm gonna call out Maggie's name.
She's in-
You call out Maggie's name. You ask, "Are you there, Maggie? I'm a police officer." You get no response, just silence from the dark bar.
Alright, I want to cautiously open the door with my gun.
Draw your gun.
And you're telling me I'm the one that
Yeah.
sounds like he's gonna die.
Your gun drawn, you push open the barn door, and inside, what little ambient light flows in from the fading sun reveals that the inside of the barn appears to be cluttered with junk, old tools, empty wooden crates, broken furniture, and the like.
The books?
None that you can see. Well, you can go in and have a look. The barn is quite big. You can make a spot hidden check with disadvantage if you like, if you'd like to peer here and see if you can see anything without entering.
Actually, can I do a listen?
You can.
See
Oh,
if I can hear anything. You see if you can hear anything. 40. Yeah, you listen.
Ollie, go ahead.
45, it's a pass.
Stand at the entrance of the barn and you listen. First silence and then rumbling and groaning. If you had Newt with you, he would say it's similar to what he heard, the sound of old wood settling coming from inside the barn.
I mean, a damn raccoon or something. What do you think? You want to look at it?
Would I be a police officer if I didn't?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Just look, it's your show, Chief. I'm just following along to try and get some crazy old man's shits done.
So who's heading in first?
I guess me, because I'm meant to
Yep.
be the brave
Alright,
one.
gun drawn. You step into the barn, begin to make your way through the debris. Please make me a dex roll
Oh,
to
God.
traverse the debris.
Oh, to traverse the debris.
Can we push?
You can push it.
I passed.
You passed. So how did Ollie go?
Oh, I actually passed the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just.
The place is cluttered. There's junk everywhere. You barely have room to move, and a couple of times as you push your way through it, you nearly trip over something, but you manage to make it to the back of the barn where a big wooden door that would have blocked off the front of the barn from the back of the barn just sits idly swinging in the gusts of wind that you've let in. Would you like to pull it aside and see what's at the back of the barn?
I suppose.
This is fun.
Grab the wooden door and you pull it aside. I'd like you both to make sand checks,
And
please.
here we go. And away we go. Oh crap, where's my 7 yet?
Shit.
Bugger, I actually failed that one.
I failed.
Yep. Okay, I'd like you please to lose 1d4 sand.
Hey, we don't even know what we're losing it for yet. Oh bugger, that's 3.
No, not the cursed. Give me the plastic.
The metal does. It's cursed.
That's a 4.
Oh!
That's a 2.
It's a 2.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
yeah,
this
no,
is
these ones
confusing.
do it on the bottom.
I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I could have given you the one that did it
Yeah.
on the top, and you said no, I want the plastic.
Yeah.
So how much sand we losing?
2.
2. How much, Ollie? 3.
Three.
That's fine. You see, impaled on a piece of rhubarb that's just jutting off the back of the barn, the torso, and I say the torso only, of a middle-aged woman, under what is left of her face, the skin that is still intact, it hasn't been peeled away. You recognize her as Maggie, the missing woman.
Jesus.
Her mouth is open in an O, frozen in terror. And as you look down her body, you notice the bottom half of her lying displayed out on the dirt floor at the bottom of the barn. Bone and gore still dangling at the
Casually
points where she was
eviscerated.
torn in half.
Shit.
Oh, we found her.
Yeah, case closed. Great.
I've got to call this in.
Yeah, go for it.
I think we should swiftly exit.
Yeah.
You don't want to examine her?
What the fuck is that to examine? Yeah, sure.
I'm not a
examine-
detective.
I mean, hey, you want to become a detective? Here's a good way to start.
Once you've composed yourselves, you can actually search the area she's in and see if there's any clues. Or you can just nope out of there.
CSI Massachusetts.
Well, I'm thinking, like I would think that he would be like that. They have to
Yeah, just search.
call it in
Yeah.
and not touch things.
How would you call it in? You don't have a
Yeah, I was
phone.
gonna say.
Radio?
Don't have a...
Yes. don't
Yeah,
get
you're a
too
patrol
involved with
officer. They're not going to issue you a radio. That's
Drive
too...
in really
Yeah,
fast.
you're going to have to drive
all
back
the way
to Arkham.
Back to Arkham just to put that in. So right now.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
Let's investigate a little bit.
Please make a spot hidden check. If you just want to search the vicinity and not her in particular.
That is a hard pass.
I don't see a damn thing. I'm just kind of like sitting there going, what the fuck am I doing
You
here?
look around and the back of the barn is mostly empty, save for two things of note. One of them, perhaps, was the object that Maggie may have been searching for. 3 large 8-litre jerry cans, and they seem to each be full of gasoline.
Yeah, I'm taking one of them. Fucking hell.
I'll tell you to go lift them.
Yeah.
Also notice above in the sagging roof a large hole about big enough for a human to fit through, where the wood has snapped off and the roof is just broken.
Okay, so she's fallen.
Either she's fallen or
What the hell is she doing on the roof then?
Or in up the top of the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, what was she doing up there?
may make. If you'd like to get an idea, you can roll an idea check.
I mean, I could
So is
try.
the hole through the roof or just the loft, basically?
Through the roof.
Through the roof.
Too
I
rude.
I could
Yeah.
try.
Maybe she was yeeted. Something
Yes, I'm sure in 1924 youth would be a
Yeah.
word that would almost immediately get you thrown to an insane asylum. Try for an intelligence check to figure out.
Yep.
Huh, actually passed that. Okay, cool. 40 intelligence.
Looking at the hole, you get the impression that it wasn't made recently. It seems to have been caused by disrepair mainly.
Oh.
You find actually portions of the roof buried in the dirt at your feet, and they look as if they've been there for quite some time, perhaps even years.
Okay, so nothing to do.
Yeah.
Just coincidental.
It doesn't seem likely that she
Okay.
fell through the roof. However, you do remember that you found the doors to the barn shut. As if she came into the barn, pulled the doors shut behind her, and yet was still caught by whatever
So-
gave her this terrible fate.
So she was trying to hide. Or maybe she came in looking for the horse, found something far worse, tried to hide, and then
Was caught.
yeah. Cool. And we're investigating this.
I wonder. No, she hasn't got much of a face left.
No. You can check her body.
I wanted to see if she had that symbol card.
Yeah, her face is so emaciated by this point, you wouldn't be able to tell. Not without, like, proper medical examination.
Yeah.
Alright, would I recognize this is beyond my skill level?
Yeah, but you could do a quick once-over of her body and, like, you know, see if there's any distinguishing wounds or anything that you could report later.
Okay.
Make a first aid check, please.
Wait, what was the other thing of note? Because you said there was two.
Well, there's
Jerry
the
cans.
hole
Oh,
and
yeah,
the gasoline.
jerry
Yeah, jerry cans full of
I'll
gasoline.
Which we will
Hey,
take.
you can
Yeah.
go look at the body. I'm getting me the frickin'
Can I
head.
push?
You can push it, yes.
Burn the damn house down. Burn everything down. That's nice.
I'm thinking that's what the jerry cans are for.
Look straight.
Yes, that's just a pass. Just a pass.
Just a pass, okay. You search her body, wrinkling up your face and trying not to linger looking at it for too long. And your examination finds a large hole in her chest. Taking a look, as far as you dare anyway, you determine that it appears her rib cage has been torn apart in a way disconcertingly similar to the raccoon outside.
Yay.
Her heart also appears to be missing. Meanwhile, back in the house, Newt, what would you like to do?
Meta question. In 1920s, was electricity a common thing to have?
It would have been in the city, but in a
not
place...
okay.
Well, you know, they could have a private generator somewhere, but it wouldn't be
there
connected to
wouldn't
a
be-
power
wouldn't be
grid.
to a
Yeah.
means, Okay. And how much time has passed?
Only about 20 minutes.
Okay, so there's still some daylight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I don't know what's happening with you guys.
Nope.
No,
They haven't called out or anything.
And we don't know what's happening with you.
You can head down into the cellar, or you can move into the back room. Or you can remain where you are, or you can leave the house.
Is the symbol on the floor fully exposed? Like, have we moved the
Yeah,
furniture away from
it's fully exposed.
Okay. I would like to look in the back room.
Alright. You enter through the doorway with Boots following behind you. The back room has a comfortable armchair in one corner, while a table stands against a wall beneath the rear window. An old walking stick lies on top of the table. The fireplace is large and made of grey stone. An unlocked back door leads out in the direction of the barn, and a collapsed lean-to. A trap door set in the middle of the ceiling overhead leads to the attic space. The wooden frame surrounding the trap door is decorated with the same occult carvings you've already seen elsewhere.
What state of repair was everything in here? Same as...
Yeah, same as...
Was there a fireplace in the main room?
Yes, there was. I just failed to mention it.
No, that's okay.
Well, there's a stove in the main room. This is more of a traditional fireplace, but...
Okay. Well, the phonograph said that they needed an actual fire
Yeah.
for the ritual, so...
But they could have made one in the stove.
That's true. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of...
Yeah, because these
a
are
modern
old
stove.
stoves.
No,
Like, this
yeah,
is
an old stove is a
yeah,
wood fire.
yeah, it's basically a fireplace.
Yep, okay. Okay, I'm looking around. I can't see into the barn from here.
No,
Okay.
and you can't see into the attic either because the trapdoor's shut. But you can search this room if you'd like to
Would
do
you
so.
be able to see that we've gone into the barn
Well-
if he opens the back door?
Well, he can
The
see
back
that
door,
he can see that the barn door. He can see that through the window that the barn door is open, but he's no way of knowing if it was like that already or not.
Can I have a look at the trapdoor to see if it looks like it's been moved recently?
Yes. Please make a spot hidden check.
God damn it, that rolled from a 1 to a 61. I'm going to use my first luck point and make it a normal pass.
Look at the trap door, and based on the layer of dust around the edges, it appears to have been shut for quite some time, not recently moved. I'm going to do a quick search of the rest of the room, and you find a couple of other things as well. You find muddy boot prints on the floor leading in from the back door. They seem to be relatively recent, like the mud is only a few days old by your reckoning. In addition, the fireplace contains the embers of a recent fire, possibly lit within the last day. A thick wool blanket has been tossed beside the fireplace, and there is an empty can of Campbell's pork and beans just lying on the ground in front of it. A dirty tin spoon that looks like surplus from the Great War, as it doubles as both a spoon and a fork, sticks out of the can.
Sounds like someone's using it as a squat. Like a squatter.
So I've got Boots with me, yeah?
Yep, Boots is with you. Boots suddenly speaks up. He says, "Get a look at this." Turn around and you see what Boots is looking at, and he's looking at the table, and aside from the walking stick, there's a large piece of worn, wrinkled fabric on which rests a half-full penny box of wooden matches, as well as a small piece of soap, a tin cup, a screwdriver, a can opener, a switchblade, and the stub of a candle.
There's a hobo living there.
I don't know about any of the dead things. I don't even know.
No.
about who.
You may make an intelligence check to see if you know what all of this suggests.
That's an 8, so that is really critical.
Yeah, Boots says, looks like a hobo spindle, and yeah, I mean, you have to agree with him. You could see how all of these things would be bundled together and wrapped up in the piece of fabric and attached to the ends of the walking stick. This looks like a fairly recent squat for a hobo. Make a listen check, please.
I'm gonna push that.
Yep.
That's a 97.
Hear that sound of creaking wood again, but are unable to pinpoint where it's from and what exactly it is.
Even though I can't pinpoint where it's from or what it is, could I get the idea that maybe because we've come across a relatively recent hobo squat, and now I'm hearing noises that might
it's
not be
entirely possible that it could be the hobo and he's still here and he's hiding. But the only place that he could be hiding is in the attic or in the cellar.
Well, in that case, not knowing that they're currently investigating a dead body, I'm going to go out to find the police officer to tell him that there may be someone squatting in the house at the moment.
Very well. Would you like to go out the back door? You click the latch on the back door, push it open, start walking down the trail towards the barn. And as you do, you see out of the corner of your eye the silhouette of a man emerging from the shadows somewhere in the house. Once you're clear out of the room, this silhouette stops for a moment, gathers everything off the kitchen table, and then disappears again, apparently bolting out through the front door of the house.
I call out the Boots and tell him to run around the front of the house to try and catch the man.
Boots nods.
Then run towards the barn and yell out, Constable, there's a man making a run for it.
Boots nods, he grabs his axe and he runs down the trail trying to head to the front of the house to intercept this man, or hopefully it's a man.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the barn, the both of you hear Newton calling out, "Constable, I think we got something here. I think we got someone here." Would you like to head back through the barn and meet him?
Yeah.
I'd like you both to make dex checks, please, to make it safely back out.
Alright.
If you insist.
Push that. Oh, that's a hard
it's
pass.
my dex. Oh no. Can I push that?
You can push it.
I got exactly a hard pass.
I was 1 point off a hard pass.
Ah, yep, so you're
so
fine.
Just a pass.
Moving as fast as you can, but as safely as you can, you push through all the junk and detritus and emerge out of the barn to find Newton waiting for you. He beckons for you to follow and leads you around to the front of the house, where you see a man wearing tattered greying clothing with long, flowing, dirty blonde hair, running as fast as he can down the front steps of the house. He's almost about to make a break for his freedom when Boots comes around the corner and tackles him, landing on top of him and pinning him down to the dirt trail. The man screams, he reaches for his belt and pulls out a switchblade, which he begins to slash wildly in the air.
Oh.
I will make Boots do a check. Boots is unable to dodge.
Oh,
Here,
no.
Boots, you hear Boots groan, and he rolls off the man and stands up, and you see the switchblade sticking out of his lower torso. A big splotch of blood growing bigger and bigger as he just stands there.
Am I able to? Oh wait, but you haven't said whether the guy's got nothing.
Yeah,
on.
and then let's roll. So that will be 5 points of damage for Boots.
Holy crap. For a switchblade. God
Yeah,
damn.
it seems to be pretty well buried in his torso. You can only see the
Damn.
handle poking out.
Oh, yeah.
And
May have gotten brute.
the man who he had pinned scrambles to his feet, and he takes a step back and he looks at each of you, just holding his spindle over his shoulder, and he points out a finger and he says, "I'm in no trouble. I don't want no trouble. You let me get out of here." Just speaking, rambling incoherently.
Would I have like handcuffs?
Yeah, you've got
I was
handcuffs.
gonna
So
say, well,
I need to arrest.
oh, are you gonna check on Boots first? I was gonna say, I just sort of like put my hands up going, whoa, easy, big guy. No one wants any trouble here. You just
Try
calm
to calm
We
him
just-
down?
We just want to know what you were doing here is all. There's no need for any more violence anymore. No one's trying to hurt you, man.
Make a psychology check, please.
Shit, I was hoping for fast talk.
Actually, yeah, make a fast talk.
Oh, thank
Make
God,
a
'cause
fast
I have
talk.
no psychology whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I work retail. What the hell am I gonna know about psychology? And holy crap, that's a 9, so that's an extreme pass.
While he's doing that,
You
can
would've
I
worked.
administer first aid?
You can head over to
While
while he's trying to talk the man down, you head over to Boots and pull him towards you and examine his wound. Make a first aid check.
That's pass.
So Boots' major wound is healed and he recovers 1 HP. You extract the knife from the wound and apply bandaging. He gasps in pain and just sinks down onto his knees as Ollie tries to calm down the man. The man listens to you and he just stands there staring and he says, I don't want anything to do with no ghosts or anything, no ghosts.
What ghosts, man?
He takes a step back. He says, I want to get out of here and go into making that house again. I ain't going back in that house again. I just want to get out of here.
Look,
What
you,
happened?
yeah, you don't have to go back in the house, man. We just want to know what's going on here. What ghosts?
Someone may make a psychology check with advantage to...
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
somebody have-
yeah, you could do it then. Yeah,
I don't have.
I've got 20.
yeah. You're just gonna
40. so
Yeah, you go for
40.
it.
Yeah,
Advantage.
you're just gonna step forward and join in Ollie and just
Yeah, I just
try
like,
to calm him
I was gonna say,
down.
I could offer a guy a cigarette or something, just
Yeah.
to keep him from friggin' flipping out.
Okay, I'm gonna push that.
2 more roll.
That's better, that's a 9, so that is a hard pass.
Take some coaxing. About 10 to 15 minutes of just this tense standoff between you and this crazed hobo, trying to talk him down, but he eventually loosens his muscles,
Easy. there,
calms down,
dickhead.
and he says,
Take him.
just looks at you with just looks at you, his face pale as a sheet, and he says, look, I'm sorry, I freaked out on you. I don't want to go back in that house. I just want to be out of here, okay? I just want to go get out of here, far away from here, all right? And you should do as well.
What were you doing in the house then?
He says, well, look, he says, old Red Jake's always looking for a place to sleep. And this house been abandoned for God know how long. You know, Red Jake decided he's gonna go bed down for the night. Only there are all these weird noises and smells coming from the attic. And you know, Red Jake getting the bejesus scared out of him. So, you know, he thinking he's gonna get out of there. And then next thing you know, he's hearing the door open and footsteps. And you know, Red Jake gonna hide in the cellar, you know. And when the coast is clear, came up, grabbed my stuff. You know, I was ready for, you know, ghosts and ghoulies come attack me, you know. Next thing I know, guy, big fella here come out from nowhere and he pinning me to the ground.
I can see how you reacted the way you reacted. I'm not appreciative of it.
I'm being an officer of the law. According to protocol, should probably still arrest him.
You should, but he thought he was being attacked.
Which, yeah, seems understandable.
Theoretically, he was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Given the circumstances and the fact that Boots is stabilized and is Boots stabilized?
Boots is stabilized.
Stabilized and not gonna die, I'll let him... Oh, I don't know if this is a mistake or not. What if I get him to sit tight?
So when order him to stay here,
Yeah.
wait at your car, in the house.
I feel like you're still the car.
If he knows how to
I was
drive.
gonna say, I'm pretty sure a homeless guy in 1924 is not gonna know how to use a car.
Yeah.
I feel like in 1920s, hot wiring a car would not be
common knowledge.
Yeah.
Guy
As long as
probably-
we have the key with us.
Yeah, guy probably doesn't even know how a car works, let alone. Yeah.
Oh, you're the officer. It's your decision what to do with the holo.
I don't know, tell him to sit out the front,
No.
sit by the car,
Alright.
and we'll...
Do you place handcuffs on him, or...
Can I cuff him to the fence?
You can cuff him to the fence,
Maybe
to the front
just,
veranda
cuff
if
him
you want.
in the car, because if anything goes
Cuff
to
him in the
shit, we
car.
don't want to really leave the guy
Yeah.
chained up on the fucking
Okay,
fence.
right.
Yep.
Ask him when he got. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
how-
He said he came in
basically
last
got-
night, and
Yeah.
so you place handcuffs on him, and he doesn't resist. He seems to be well and truly calmed down now. You escort him to your car, open the back door, and tell him to sit tight. He just looks at you, and he says, "Yeah, I'll wait here. I got a feeling you ain't coming back, though."
Oh god.
I was gonna say, I'm just gonna hand him a cigarette and just go, yeah, okay, whatever, man, just
He
sit
can't
here.
smoke, his hands are cuffed.
Yeah,
can light it
just
for
put
him.
in I was gonna say,
Yeah.
just put it in his damn mouth and
Yeah.
just sit here, calm down, please don't stab anyone else for 5 minutes.
He just chuckles nervously and puffs his cigarette, and he says, "Yeah, I just wait here. Maybe you deal with whatever ghoulie in that house. Oh, please, Lord, hope you come back. Don't let me starve death in here."
Oh yeah, shit, if anything happens to us, he's fucked. Yeah, we'll keep that in mind.
You tell him to just sit tight, and you're just going to investigate the situation. You're sure you can handle it. Then you shut the door to the car and leave him sitting in there. Looks like it's time to enter the house.
Yeah,
Well and
let's-
truly.
Will I tell these two about finding the symbol?
Oh yeah, I forgot to
Yeah.
mention in all of this, we found the nice lady who went missing. Yeah,
Very dead.
she's definitely dead, about as dead can get.
But you did bring the jerry cans out.
Oh
so,
hell yeah, I did.
You
Yeah.
could burn this place down if you
hello
want
to
to.
Sure, let alone vitamin G.
Vitamin G.
Yeah, vitamin G.
Vitamin G solves
gasoline.
everything. Everything else fails, burn it down. So yeah, you can sit there with your gun and your knowledge. I'll
Boots-
sit here with the
Boots
goddamn
clasps his
red
hand to his stomach and he winces and he says, "Look, I already been stabbed over this. Let's just go in there and get this over with." And he grabs his axe, holds it high, and just begins shuffling over to the front door of the house.
Should Boots wait outside?
You could try to tell him if you want.
Boots, you should wait outside.
Yeah, man. Look,
You can slow us down.
loving the gumption you got going on here, pal. But you're not gonna be moving well with that knife wound, man.
He says, yeah, I also don't fancy my chances out here with the guy who stabbed me. I think I'll be accompanying you inside that little old house.
Okay, your funeral, pal.
You just want him to go insane.
Can I grab some chalk
From the car? Yes,
before
you
we
can.
go?
I
You
thought
sure?
that I would have all these things on.
Well, there's someone in the
Well,
boot of
you-
the car.
then
I'm
I'll
definitely
go.
having some matches with me with the petrol.
Yep.
Can I do?
Can you silence it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
it's
I
mine.
thought it was
No, it's
mine.
mine. It's mine. It's
No.
M1 saying you got home, so
Yeah.
it's...
That's why I
Okay,
started my
sorry.
shit in advance.
Everyone's phones sound the same.
Yep.
It's usually Rainy.
Always silence it. Remember, everyone, much like a movie, please silence your phones before
So
recording.
you could just enact the Harkin protocol and burn the farmhouse to the ground.
I mean, yeah, but we still have to try and actively stop this thing. I don't know.
Well, otherwise, the evil is out in the world.
Yeah, well...
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm
you
just
can
saying,
make that
this is
assumption
some-
that, yeah, if
Yeah.
I was gonna do an occult check to see if fixing the symbol will like continue the
We
ritual.
won't know until we.
But-
you won't know until you try it.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
find the book.
But at the same time, my guy still doesn't believe that
Yeah.
it's actually
Yeah.
a ghost.
I'm just holding on to the jerry
Like,
can like a life
For all
preserver.
you know there's a dead body, because you've been told there's a dead body, but for all you know, the logical explanation is the hobo killed her.
Yeah.
You know, he could be some crazed rapist murderer or something.
Despite the fact that, you know, the dead body's
mean-
been
Okay,
killed in the
but
same
he's-
way as the
he's
raccoon and
seen
the
the
autopsy report.
Yeah.
He's heard about the ribcage thing. We tell him about the ribcage thing with the raccoon and the ribcage thing with the lady
I'm
in
a-
the barn.
On the
20-year-old young
Yeah.
man. I am probably stubborn as fuck.
on
You should
the
be more dull.
I was gonna say I'm 23
Yeah.
and I'm working on.
I
I know what I've seen.
Start. Ideology
Ideology.
and belief. Believes in scientific evidence, believes in history books, does not
It's-
hold much
that's-
stock in religion or supernatural beliefs.
That's a lot of evidence.
Yeah, look,
it could be
normally I'd be
cynical.
very much.
On the other hand, you know for sure that there was a crazy hobo here and he did nearly kill one of you.
By stabbing him.
Right in the... Yeah.
You're as bad as me in real life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Like,
So-
I don't believe anything.
Well, I guess we still haven't found the book.
Mhm.
Do we want to check the basement? and
Yeah,
then
the only two places it could be is
And
basement
then-
or the attic.
check the attic if it's not in the
I'm gonna
basement.
light the lamp.
Yeah, you do what you want. I'm holding on to this thing.
Yeah.
Until- I'm not much much of a fire starter, but there's a lot of
Box
weird-
knife in front of you.
No, not even box knife, just boxer matches.
Yeah,
the
the
freaking
box of
jerry
matches
can going.
and the jerry can
I'm not
ready
much,
to
I
go.
ain't much of a fire starter, or troublemaker, but yeah, you say the word. This place is just giving all sorts of bad heebie-jeebies. I will happily just burn this place to the ground.
Alright, now I forgot what I was about to say.
So you're like gonna get the lantern,
Yeah,
light
I'm
it,
gonna,
get a couple
light the
candles.
lantern. Well, the candles I got for in case we needed to do a
Yeah,
ritual. So,
for a ritual.
Yay.
and I guess we'll head. Do we head downstairs or upstairs?
It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, you're the brains of this operation.
As you
you're the
approach
law.
the house,
I'm just the...
As you approach the house, the veranda groans under your weight, and as you follow Newt in through the front door, the oil lamp hanging above it just blows ominously in the first night-time wind.
I would say basement first because that's where the guy was hiding.
Yeah,
I was
so you
gonna
can
say, is
assume
that-
there's nothing dangerous there,
Well,
but...
the oil lantern that you said was hanging above, is that like, can you detach that, or is it just...
Well, it's attached to the outside of the house. You could pull it off if you want. You'd probably damage the wall of the house a little bit.
Ah.
Oh, who cares? That's got carving
Yeah.
hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want maybe an extra lane would be
Yeah.
a good idea.
Do you want to try and pull it off?
Yeah.
Alright, somebody make a strength check to pull it off.
What's your strength?
55.
Mine's 60.
Alright, make
I was gonna say, unless you already had to get Boots to do it, since he's...
Yeah, alright, I'll get Boots to do it.
Bob's got like, he's got like 80 in strength. I think Boots is...
Boots
even with a
size
knife,
and-
not even with a knife in his...
Raises his axe and smashes it against the piece of iron holding the lamp to the wall, and he just shatters a couple of the planks of wood, snaps them right off the wall, and leaves a hole about 30 centimeters in length, just gaping right there in the front wall, and the lantern drops to the ground. He picks it up and hands it to you.
Cool, more light.
Shall I light the lamp?
You light, holding the
Light the
lanterns,
beacon.
step within the home. Take a brief moment to take in your surroundings, just as Newt did when he entered, and you see what he saw. So where would you like to go? Is there anything you'd like to check?
To the basement.
To the basement. Very well.
Although, I'll do it because you failed your spot hidden when you first walked in. I want to do a spot hidden.
Yeah. Well, no, he failed his
Oh,
cult.
failed the occult.
Yeah,
and
failed
my
his.
listen.
I
Yeah.
thought you failed. I thought you passed your listen. You failed.
No, he
I
failed
failed
both
the listen.
listens.
I passed the spot hidden, which
Yeah.
is how
Yeah.
I found.
I'm
The spindle
guessing the
and
listen.
stuff.
I was gonna say, I'm guessing the listen was for the actual hobo.
Yeah, that was
So-
to hear the
yeah.
hobo
So there's-
shuffling
so
around.
there's no point in me doing a listen
Yeah.
check now.
Yeah, and the second room I passed the spot hidden as well. I failed to listen.
So you failed both of them.
No, he failed both listens, but he passed the spot hidden. That's how he found all the hobo's objects, his possessions.
I'm in the, in
Yeah.
the first
So holding the lanterns in front of you, you make your way down into the cellar. Slivers of light slice the darkness through rotten floorboards that make up the cellar's low ceiling, allowing enough light to see in the gloom. And with your lanterns, you can quite clearly make out what is here. Filled with junk and forgotten tools, the cellar is a hoard of items once thought worth keeping. Because you've brought the lanterns, you do not need to make a spot hidden check. You're quickly able to mentally catalogue everything here. The floor is hard-packed earth. It's cooler than the house above, but it has an earthy, lingering smell. There's a pair of chairs against a wall at the base of the steps, and a table with a missing leg resting on its side. Shelves line one wall. Cans and boxes sit on the shelves, each holding the long spoiled remains of foodstuffs.
Sorry.
Bless you. Several tins of tea leaves lurk among the cans, complete with the silver tea set, now long tarnished. By the steps leading into the cellar is an old but still sturdy 8-foot-long ladder. Perhaps can be used to access the attic safely. Behind the steps is a pile of lumber, a bag of rusted nails, and a wooden box with some old tools. In a corner, near the shelves, there is a large square-shaped bundle under a white tarpaulin.
I guess I'll walk up and
Just lift it off.
yeah, I'm gonna lift one corner to see what's in here.
Lift it up and you find underneath an expensive-looking wooden travel trunk with the initials AM emblazoned on the side.
Guy on the farm.
Well, then I pull the tarpaulin off and I would like to
I was gonna say, is the trunk locked or?
I'll investigate the trunk.
Your first impulse is to grab the front of the lid and lift it up, and to your surprise, it is unlocked and groans loudly as you lift the lid a little bit. Wish to open it fully?
Yeah, this is it's just a expensive looking normal travel.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
appear to
was gonna
be.
say, last I checked, mimics don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't exist in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just can I get one of the others to shine their light near it and just look through a little bit?
Very well.
To
So
make
the-
sure that there's
Yep.
nothing.
I
Like a
can
trip
shine
wire.
the light so that
Shine the
you
light.
can look.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah, that you shine the light so I can look in.
Peeking through the gap with the light of the lanterns, you appear to see inside what appears to be a pile of folded black clothing, a small cigar box, and a sheaf of yellowed papers.
But there's no like.
You can't see a book unless it's underneath the clothing, but open it fully, and you quickly determine that the black clothing is a set of 6 folded black robes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Jeez, they were going full in this occult.
Yeah, the only other things in the trunk
Yep, just
is
role-playing
a
guy
ci-
who won,
is of course the cigar box, and upon opening it up, you see a small metal canister containing a coarse and brownish powder.
Ah, damn, I was hoping for a cigar.
Isn't
Yeah,
Gobi
the
Obi Ben
sands of what's
Ghazi,
in it.
perhaps? Meanwhile, the yellowed papers are as follows. The first one appears to be a handwritten letter.
So I was gonna say, do you want me to try and read that one?
Yeah, you read that.
I got my glasses on.
Let's see.
I'm gonna do that.
23rd of March, 1877. I don't know why I'm putting this down on paper. It's probably a bad idea, but I feel the need to leave some kind of explanation for my actions and intent. When I took the sarcophagus from my uncle, I did not think it would be missed. I expected to be able to research it and return later. I was such a fool. Despite believing in the powers we tried to summon, I grossly underestimated and misunderstood the consequences. Now Robert is dead and Harold a madman. I'm going back to the farmhouse to organize our things. I dread stepping foot again in that place, but I must make sure that our materials will be available again when we need them. Since the others are too shaken to attempt a banishment of the creature, I can only hope the thing has the power to remain in our reality more than a few hours or days. At least it's bound to the house itself. I shall search for a means to destroy it before the last of us passes from this world and it's released from the house, if it is still there. I believe I know where I can find the knowledge I need to drive the creature away without assistance from others. I hear tales of mystics in New Orleans that know much of the true magics of the world. I am leaving the gold box in Rupert's care. I told him not to sell it or have it appraised by anyone, but did not tell him why. He also seemed puzzled by my insistence to not live in Boston, but I believe he trusts my judgment to not go into danger unwittingly. My uncle does not know about our dark brotherhood, so Rupert and the others will be safe from anyone looking for it. I'll put things right again. Marion Allen. P.S. I write this before I close the lid on the trunk. The thing is still in the attic of the house. It seemed to recognize me and spit foul curses at me. Shall cut protective wards on the trunk to prevent any tampering with its contents, just in case.
Yeah, a letter from Marion Allen. The other piece of paper appears to be a page torn out of a book.
Ooh. Oh, well, this just already looks like fun. You have a nice pentagram and other fun things. Oh boy, that's some fun handwriting.
It's got an image of a pentagram, which appears to be identical to the one scratched on the floor in the main room, and a Latin phrase.
Yeah.
However, as it's an occult text, Newt may be able to roll occult to see if he can translate this.
Because I was going to say, I could probably read like every second or third word. You know, there's like, you know, spiritus, sanctium, vitium.
So, as a thought, a left
Yeah.
tap, all those fun little bits and pieces and doodads.
Hey, my dice don't hate me at this point.
Finally.
It's a normal pass.
Hand it over to Newt, and he presses it down on the floor, places his lantern next to it, and pulls out a pencil and a piece of paper as he begins to look over the page, quietly reading the phrase under his breath. Oh, spiritus. After a
Probably
few...
don't say it out loud.
Yeah. After... Shut the fuck up! After a few minutes, Newt, you come up with a rough translation of the text.
Okay, I'll just read it instead.
Oh, that's a...
Or brown.
Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. O spirits, you are exercised by the power, wisdom, and virtue, by the divine knowledge, by the dark void. The name of the old ones, the root, trunk, source, and origin of all the other divine names, whence they all draw their life and their power. I exercise you by the name Epitaph, signaling the most excellent bringer of wisdom. His majesty is so high and brighter than the stars of the void. I exercise you by the most powerful name of Azathoth, the all-powerful who shall punish the crimes. I exercise you and I command you absolutely, O demon, in whatsoever part of the universe you may be, by the virtue of all these names, hear you and obey. Well, that just sounds quite pleasant. I'm guessing that's a lovely banishment part.
Yeah.
Of this.
It appears to be so.
That is a translation.
Yeah.
What moon is it?
What moon is it?
At the moment, what phase of the moon are we currently in?
Probably looks to be new moon.
I don't believe in any of this.
However,
As the man has told me many crazy stories, and you know, I wouldn't believe any of them, to be honest. Why don't we come back
kind
and
of killed him?
next time you can touch the metal box?
Oh, I was gonna, but you picked it up before I could have a look.
I'm just saying, like, you don't have to believe in this, but you got to admit this is starting to, all this stuff's starting to add
Why
up.
don't we come back during the day?
You really want to leave this?
You reckon we should cut our losses?
Well, not saying I believe any of this, but the lady that you found dead disappeared at night.
Yep.
It is now night.
Yep.
I'm following you. I'm definitely following you on this. I see where you're going with this.
The man was found dead at night.
Yup. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the
No,
Mary
he wasn't. He was found at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
in the morning.
In the morning.
So it was
He
found.
was killed, probably killed at night.
Yeah.
Make
yeah.
an intelligence check, please, Newt.
Oh, thank God.
Can I push an intelligence check?
You can push it.
Because I have an 80 in intelligence.
Yeah,
and of
you
course
should
I
be able
rolled
to
a
make it.
92.
You can't do. Wow,
That's a 3.
That's a 3. Goddamn.
It seems possible to you that Marion Allen himself was perhaps not killed by the creature in this house, but rather by whoever the sarcophagus and the spirit within originally belonged to.
That answers one question and raises so many more.
It's only the first episode in a campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I know it would make more sense to try and do this during the day, but at the same time, do we really want anything else to happen if we let this go any longer?
It was my.
Oh God, he's fucking rolling behind the damn screen. And
I'm more than willing to draw up this pentagram on the floor again.
Please make listen checks.
Oh
Because it's nighttime.
no! No, I was thinking more because it said that specifically the thing is still in the fucking attic. So it probably. Oh God, I'm pushing that because.
Can I push that?
Yeah, you can push it.
Pushing low.
That was worse.
Okay.
I spend like 5 luck
Yep,
points just
go
to
ahead.
as a pass because don't get me wrong, I'd rather not. But at the same time, I'm probably the only one with luck actually friggin' spare. So
Ollie, you hear, first of all, a loud metallic crash and then the sound of smashing glass from somewhere above.
Oh, we killed the fucking hobo.
no, it's coming from above. Hobo's in
Not
the car.
directly above, just somewhere above.
We're under the ground.
Yeah, you're
so
in the
car
cellar.
is still technically above us, and the sound has to come through the
Cool. So,
well, we put him in the car.
well, we may not be there. I feel like if the hobo had been killed, we would probably have heard something in regards to that. But
Maybe screaming.
this, okay. So
As if to punctuate your thought, you suddenly hear a blood-curdling "Ah!"
Okay, great. Hobo's dead. We're out of options.
Give me the chalk, give me the chalk, give me the chalk!
Time's up.
Alright.
You grab the chalk, and are you going to draw it right here in the cellar, or are you going to go up to the main room? Or perhaps in the attic.
Oh, do we really want to go up in the attic for this one? Or do we just want to do it where they did it? Probably be best to do it where they did the ritual to begin with.
Yeah, I'm running straight up so I
Yeah,
can
because
trace
they've already. Yeah,
the
you've
floor.
got. Yeah, I was gonna say they've already got it on the floor, so
You
might as well
run
just
straight up into the main room, and as you run into the main room, you can't help but look through the window outside, and all you
Sand check?
see... Yeah, sand check, all three of you, please.
Ah, crap.
That is a pass.
My boy doesn't have that much sanity to spare, but fuck it, let's see what
Oh,
happens.
thank God I passed.
And
Because I know.
miraculously, Boots passed.
Good for him. I did not.
You...
Knowing this is the climax.
You look out the window and you see the passenger side back door of the patrol car has a huge dent in it, and the window of the car has been broken. There is a large hole in the middle, edges of glass still poking up through it like jagged spikes, and you see bits of greyed fabric and blood attached to the edges of the broken glass, and there is just a trail of blood leading down the side of the car door and just scraping along the trail around the corner of the house.
Okay. Am I rolling a d4 or a d6 for my sanity?
If you failed,
Failed
D4, please.
Okay. Shit, that's a 3.
It's a 3. If
I
you
rolled a
succeed,
3.
a 1.
A 1?
Balls.
Yep.
Okay, so...
I don't have that many to spare, but fuck it, let's lose 3 more.
Okay, well, the thing is currently distracted. I immediately start script
Do the thing, do the thing,
tracing
do the
on
thing, do
the
the
floor.
thing, do
Yep,
the
please
thing,
make
do
an
the thing.
occult check
Shit.
to copy it.
I mean, could he get an advantage since it's already...
Well, yeah, with
random?
advantage. You already got the
'Cause
picture.
it's already,
yeah.
he's like literally just tracing over what's already been done on the floor.
47. Remember, my first one is 47.
47, yep, okay.
The second one is 28. 22, so that's just normal pass.
Yep, normal
do it,
pass.
just do it,
Yeah,
do it.
Drawing out the chalk symbols and setting the black candles in place, lit, they begin to give off a heady musk-like smell. Greasy smoke hangs in the air as you draw the symbol on the floor. First 20 minutes of the ritual, if you could call it that, go smoothly, allowing you time to mark out the pentagram and begin to start a fire in the stove, burning some of the brown powder. Then, suddenly, you hear from above you in the attic a terrible screeching and scratching and scrambling, something scratching at the wood, and you pinpoint the noise. It seems to be coming from the trap door to the attic. It's as if something is scratching at the trap door, desperately trying to open it, but unable to.
Oh, we should keep going.
I'd like you all to make intelligence checks, please.
Aww. Aww. Can I push?
Yes, you can push.
I don't have intelligence, and that wasn't much better. So no, I fail. That's bad.
I failed.
It's bad. Please tell me
I
you
got
passed.
a hard pass.
Good for you, champ.
You contemplate the scratching against the trap door, and suddenly it all clicks together. The wards represent places that the creature cannot enter, meaning it cannot leave the attic through the trap door. It cannot enter the room where you are through the doorway or through the windows. The only way it can exit or enter the house is through holes in the roof or the wall.
I don't want to be
would
that guy, but when Boots whacked that oil lamp off the door, did he
Oh,
did
shit.
he break?
Your heart sinks as you remember what Boots did.
God fucking damn it, we screwed ourselves.
Are you gonna say something about it?
Oh yeah, I say that.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you
I
do?
yell out, get to the door and carve that eye symbol across the door frame that's left.
Okay.
While I continue this.
Who's gonna do that? Because I'm guessing, yeah, you run
Yeah.
do that.
You rush over to the door and start trying with the chalk to draw little versions of the symbol around that hole. I would ask you to please make an occult check.
Oh. I believe it.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
called
you gotta
5.
get 5.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you want me to help, or do you want me to just stick with him and keep doing the ritual?
Keep doing the ritual.
Shit. Oh no.
Now it's 42. Can I push it? I don't think I
You
can.
can push it, but
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
exactly in combat.
Yeah, but at the same
Same
time,
time you push it and you fail, it's worse.
yeah,
there's definitely consequences.
I'll leave it.
yeah. You just hope you can get this done.
Yeah.
You finish drawing the pentagram on the floor, and then you grab the sheet of paper, and you're both gonna recite the chant.
Yep, fuck it, I've got the English translation. I can do that. I could read, sort of.
All right.
You definitely read enough.
I would like you, as you begin to recite the chant, I would like you both to make power checks, please.
Fuck. This is better than mine, champ. Ah, shit.
I've got more power than you. God damn it.
No, that's a fail.
So, do we want to push, or do we
You
just...
can push it.
Hell, I ain't got much to live for anyway.
Fuck it, yeah, we... That's a pass.
Oh shit, yeah, it's a pass for me. By
Yeah,
2.
okay.
By
That's a
2.
hard pass.
I got passed by 2, I'll take that win.
Both pass. You launch into the chant, doing your best to project your voice, sticking as close as you can to the Latin chant, trying not to deviate from the pronunciation of any of the words, hoping you get it right. You each spend 1 magic point. It will require...
How many magic points do we even
So
have?
your magic points are your power divided by 10. So you have 3. And
Oh,
here's
good.
4. Okay. Yep.
I'm down to 2.
And in order to complete the ritual, you will need to spend 5 magic points altogether.
So literally everything we have, basically.
And
Yeah.
isn't it if you get to 0, you die?
You fall unconscious. You don't die.
Oh dear.
Well,
Within moments of you beginning the chant, the creature sets up an awful howling, interspersed by grunts and foul curses spoken in a harsh, guttural voice, in an ancient language, a terrible barbaric tongue that you cannot comprehend.
Nope.
The old house sways and creaks, the sudden jolts shaking it to its foundations. Objects fall from the shelves and roll across the floor. Sanity checks, all 3 of you.
Yay. Great.
also, did you say 5 altogether?
5 altogether over
Well,
the course
that's
of the ritual.
2.
So 2, so 3 more.
I can give another 2 and you can give 1, then we
Yeah.
still both...
But you will need to pass power checks each
Yeah.
time.
I was gonna say, can Boots jump in and help with
Yeah,
that?
Boots.
Oh, so I failed the sand check,
I
because, you
failed
know...
as
Yep.
well.
Okay, so that will be 1d4 minus 1 for failing. And for passing, a SAN loss of 0.
Oh, so where do we roll minus 1?
Yeah, with a
Okay.
minimum of 1.
Great. I
4.
I lose 2. It's just getting better and better all the time for me. Oh, I might go insane before Boots does.
Yeah.
Yay!
I lose 2.
Boots lost 2. Boots just goes, oh shit. Shit.
Just chant the damn ritual, you idiot.
The violence and noise continues for a while and is then followed by a horrible smell creeping down from the attic. Suddenly, thick, stinking goo oozes through the ceiling floorboards and begins to drip down the walls. This green ooze drips, flows down like blood, and then it begins to sizzle and bubble, and droplets of it jump out off the walls as it sprays itself into the main room. I need all of you to do dodge checks, please.
Oh, God. It's everything I'm bad at. And that's a fail.
That's a fail for Boots as well.
Yay! This gonna hurt.
Wait, what's a dodge? Is that
It's,
dex?
it's,
Yeah,
it's
um,
half your dex if you don't have the skill.
Yeah.
I got a hard pass.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. That was a really bad fail.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you all fail, including
Except for him.
Except for him. Yep. So Boots fails. The acid flies. The liquid splashes onto you and begins to eat into your skin, and as you feel the pain welling up, you realize it is something acidic, and you each take 3 points of damage as the liquid eats into your skin.
Ow. Am I?
Yes, you dodged.
You're fine.
Like you, whoever wants to chant, please make power checks.
And Boots joining on this one.
Yeah, Boots just going shit.
Am I done with the door?
You realised you're unable to get it.
Get on the chant.
Yeah, you're
Alright,
still.
I'm joining in now.
Yep. All right, make a power check.
When do you guys want me to try and do the door? As you run over, do you yell at me to get to the door?
Is that going to affect the ritual?
No, because you guys will take over the ritual. And
Yeah,
I'll try
this-
and stop the thing getting you to the door.
Yeah.
I'll do
You
a
have
cult
power.
check.
Yeah, he has a cold. You have power. So
Alright.
Yeah, and I failed my power check on that one.
Can I push it?
You can push it. I'll leave class.
yeah, you definitely passed. I guess.
Pass a case, 2 MP, 1 more required. You continue chanting, reciting at a feverish pace.
Can I do a cult to try and stop getting through the door?
You can try. So yeah, 1 more. Yeah, so
You
only
can
one.
certainly
So 2
try.
more magic points required to
Yeah.
seal it. You're heading over to the door.
That's a hard pass.
That's a
on the
hard
cult,
pass,
stopping
and
the door.
as they chant, you begin to carve symbols into the door. Make a luck check, please.
Oh no! See, I have luck. That's the one thing I do have.
No, that's a fail.
That's a fail.
Wait, how
You
much
be-
luck do you have?
You
I
be-
only started off with 35.
Yep.
Yeah.
You begin carving the symbols in around the hole while the other 2 chant at a feverish pace behind you, but you are not fast enough. You
Why is it
feel a
moving?
rush of air moving through the hole, and something knocks you back off your feet.
Why is it Boots helping?
Hit your head on the ground and
Oh.
take 1 point of damage as your head smashes on the floorboard. And then, so what are your luck values, everybody?
34.
71.
71.
Fuck you.
I started with 80 in luck. It's the one skill.
Boots has 23.
Oh, thank God.
Boots raises his axe. He's looking around wildly. Shit, 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 shit. And then his mouth opens and he begins to silently scream as an unseen force lifts him off the ground.
Shit.
And
Hey, cool.
begins
I'll
to
take up the shit
dangle-
chanting for
Yeah.
it. Shit, shit, shit,
and
shit.
begins to dangle above the ground. He struggles, fighting against the unseen force, swinging his hatchet wildly, trying to strike something, and then begins to scream in pain. And his arms are raised above his head, and his legs go straight out in front of him, and you see his body visibly begin to stretch as if something is pulling him from both
Take up
sides.
Take
Yeah,
up
you
the
begin
Yeah,
chanting.
fucking hell.
Boots screams and screams and screams, and then there's a sickening crack, and his rib cage bursts out like an egg being blown up from having a bullet shot into it. His still beating heart beats once, twice, 3 times, and then with a sickening squelch, it's torn out of his chest and dematerializes, fading away into nothing as a plume of black smoke rises where it once was. Then both halves of Boots' lifeless body are dropped down onto the floor with a heavy thud. Send checks, all 3 of you,
no
please.
Shit. And that's a fail. This is gonna hurt.
That's a pass.
This is gonna hurt
Okay,
me.
for passing, that will be a 1d4 minus 1, minimum 1. For failing, that will be a d6.
This ought to be fun. Fuck, that's a 5.
That's a 5.
I got a 1.
Intelligence check, please.
Oh, thank God I could actually survive this. Let me just write down my numbers. 21 minus
Oh,
5
push the intelligence check.
is
That's a critical
So-
pass. Yeah.
Well, I think I was the only one that had to make an intelligence
Oh,
pass.
sorry.
It's just me, because I
Sorry.
failed and failed
Yep.
hard.
I heard
And of course I rolled a fucking 3. I'm gonna go nuts.
Yeah, you suddenly comprehend.
Nope, don't want to play anymore.
There are such things as monsters, and you've just seen one tear a man in two.
Nope.
You scream and rush for the front door
Yep.
and begin to open it. And you just rush out of the farmhouse into the ground, screaming, waving your arms above your head, leaving the other two to chant.
Yep.
There is one sole silver lining, and that is the monster does not chase you out of the house because it's more interested in stopping the ritual.
Yep, fuck off, I'm out. Bye. No, fuck.
Okay, I need you both to do power checks, please.
Yeah, that's fine.
Pass.
Oh, that's a hard pass. Oh wait, no, it's not.
Yes,
Pass.
I passed. I got a hard pass.
Meanwhile, I'm just fucking running for the
You
hills.
spend your 2 magic points, bringing it to 5 as you chant, trying not to just break out into terrified screaming. And you,
Powered by 10.
yeah, so
You
you,
had 5.
yep,
And you've now lost 2.
yep. So you spend them, complete the ritual, and you chant, trying, your voice wavering on the verge of breaking out into terrified screaming, but you keep chanting, and you chant non-stop for what seems like an eternity, though in reality it's only 10 seconds. Suddenly a wisp of oily smoke curls down from the ceiling, twisting towards the center of the pentagram on the floor. The creature is drawn through the wards and into the center of the pentagram before your eyes. As it begins to condense in the pentagram, begins to be pulled back to the dimension it hails from. It begins to grow, and you see a shape beginning to materialize as it sinks into the pentagram. What do you do?
Do we still need to be chanting at this point?
Well, yeah, you're still chanting, but you don't have to look. If you want to, you can look away.
I continue to scream as I run down the
Yeah.
road.
I am not looking at it.
Yeah. I'm
Yep.
not
Ter-
looking.
Following the unspoken warning of the photograph,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the many more vision that is currently.
Nope,
Yeah.
nope, nope.
So
Uh,
please
but I'm
make
sure.
power checks to will yourself to not look.
Look away, child. Look away.
It's a fail.
Bad.
Push it.
You can push it.
You can try.
Both failed. You may push.
I don't want to make it worse than what it's going to be. I feel like Newt is going.
Oh
This can't
shit!
be real.
This is
can't,
Yeah.
It can't be real. Like honestly, like his stories can't be real.
A pass.
Oh, don't want
You
I'm not
dare-
pushing. No,
Do you
I
dare to
failed.
gaze
You
upon
failed.
them anymore?
Yeah.
I
So you
failed.
just,
That's what
as
I'm saying,
much
I
as you
failed.
want to look away, you find yourself compelled to look on as the smoke begins to condense and it grows denser, more solid, and coalesces slowly into the silhouette of a human. And then before your eyes stands Rupert Merriweather.
Oh.
He smiles at you and he simply says, I can offer you secrets that you can never imagine.
I should be there because I would have tried to fucking kill him again. What now, egghead? Wow.
So those stories you told me, they were true?
He smiles and says, yes, and many things more besides, which I never mentioned to you. Secrets that you would never discover
At this
in your
point,
entire
Not real.
lifetime.
at this point, I'm really glad.
Secrets that only I may bestow upon you.
At this point, I'm just really glad
It's
that you
not
made me run out of the
real.
house and not do anything else, considering I was holding the freaking jerry can the entire time.
Can I?
I submit.
No!
Wow!
You submit?
Wow!
No!
Holy
No!
shit!
No, you're not gonna undo this goddamn ritual we just spent. I want to persuade you to not.
Yeah, but you're not looking, so you have no idea what's going on.
That's actually a good question. She doesn't look. Can she hear what's happening?
Yes.
Oh, cool. You're listening to the conversation then, so...
Yeah.
I want to tell her
Except-
that it's an illusion.
Except what Officer Richard hears is I can offer you power beyond your wildest dreams.
Oh, shit!
I'm not interested.
I submit. I'm a student looking for history
Knowledge.
knowledge.
And I am still
saw him
screaming.
die.
And I'm
Yeah,
still
I saw
screaming.
him die, and now he's in front of me, which reinforces
No.
that the stories that he told me
Were actually real.
could very well be true.
So you're just gonna.
I'm still
kill
just-
you right
I'm
now.
still doing my Forrest Gump impression of just nope.
Look,
nope.
honestly,
Nope.
I'm just hoping this ends up with me getting Cthulhu mythos for the next session.
Yeah. And
Alright.
then there's still me, just
Still, you run it off.
nope.
I submit.
You submit.
I submit.
Oh dear.
You stop chanting. And you stand silently.
No, don't touch me.
The apparition knows it has won. It smiles coldly. It says you will be rewarded with your life and secrets you may... Secrets that you would never imagine in your wildest dreams. It flashes you a cold smile. Please add 5 points to your Cthulhu Mythos skill. As forbidden knowledge suddenly seeps into your mind, unbidden.
I don't think all this
There is a flash of bright light that suddenly emanates from the pentagram, and with it, a terrible, ear-splitting wailing. It seems to go on forever, but in reality, it ends as suddenly as it began. You are standing alone in the main room of the farmhouse. It is eerily silent. The air is cold and stale. The only noises, the sound of the wind blowing against the branches outside in the darkness. Whatever creature was here, you feel its malevolent presence is gone.
This house is clean.
So yeah,
So-
feel free to look for me afterwards, but my boys just run off into the dead of night in
With
the
the
middle of nowhere.
house appearing to be cleansed, you exit the farmhouse, stepping out into the suddenly very cold night. Daring not to let your eyes follow the blood trail leading from the car, you just walk silently to your vehicle, pull open the door, and clamber in, sinking into the seats.
Disappointed in you, boy.
I was gonna say,
silently-
do you want to just deal with the dead
Yeah.
bodies in the back seat first before you
They
start
got dragged off.
You get dragged off, yeah. Silently contemplating what just happened.
Nope.
What do we do about this?
Yeah, good luck calling that one, yeah.
I have knowledges of the universe. You
Because
need to
I've-
deal with the dead bodies.
Yeah.
Because I've got 3 fucking dead bodies to deal with.
Would you
Yep.
like to
I'm half considering just
Would-
burning everything.
would you like to one option that is available to you is murder suicide. The hobo's responsible for Boots and Maggie, and
Killed himself afterwards.
Yes.
But they were eviscerated.
Yeah, but you know, it's 1924. It's
Yeah.
not like you have access to.
no one's gonna know whether a monster eviscerated him or if he just took a shotgun to his torso,
Yep.
point blank range.
Yep. You call that shit in, you'll
Or
probably get
blew
promoted.
himself up with a stick of dynamite or something.
I'm just saying, you'll probably, solving a murder mystery and whatnot, you'll probably get promoted for this shit if you keep your mouth shut. Me? Fuck, I don't know where the hell I am. I'm gone. Ollie has run off into the dead of night.
Yeah.
No
Are
idea what
you temporarily insane?
He's temporarily
I'm temporarily insane, but I got no
As
idea how far I'm gonna run.
Eventually, when you manage to calm down and recover from what just happened, and you turn on the engine and make your way off this accursed property, you just find Ollie sitting at the gate leading onto the property, just weeping with his head in his hands. And you just park. You just idle next to him, pull open the back door of the car, and half guide him, half pull him into the vehicle, not even saying anything to him, just pulling the door shut behind him and driving back into Ross's corners as he just weeps in the back seat.
Just
I think
saying.
I'll stage it as a double murder suicide. So he murdered the woman 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but then when we went to investigate, he
When we went
murdered
to
Boots.
investigate, we found him who murdered Boots and
And
then
he
we
killed
killed him.
himself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say
Please
a fucking thing,
make
'cause
a law roll.
I ain't saying a damn thing. I honestly, I don't think Ollie's coming back.
That's a pass. So, you file your report the following morning as soon as you arrive back in Arkham. It's pretty easy to fabricate a story of what happened. No one is willing to go to the farmhouse. It's out of Arkham's jurisdiction, and you won't find anyone in Ross's Corners who's willing to go and check and find out what actually happened. And so, you paint it thus. Red Jake, the unfortunate murderer who murdered Maggie when she stumbled upon his squat and tried to kick him out, threatened to report him to the police. He brutally raped her and then eviscerated her corpse in a botched attempt to cut it up for disposal. It was then, when you confronted him, that you had a tense standoff, him and a stick of dynamite, threatening to blow himself sky high unless you let him just disappear into the woods. It was at this point when Boots attacked him, trying in a desperate struggle to wrench the explosives from his hand. To no success, blowing both of them up, eviscerating their bodies. Boots is regarded as a hero of sorts, and you feel somewhat guilty as you take credit for solving this case, as it does give you a significant pay rise. But you are but you are. The guilt is offset by the sense that, at the very least, the thing that Merriweather tasked you with, the terrible spirit, the terrible evil that he sent you to banish, has been dealt with, and his dying wish has been fulfilled. For fulfilling his dying wish, you each gain 1d10 sanity.
3.
8.
Ah, yeah, great.
However, in the weeks to follow...
Back up to where I was.
Yep. However, in the weeks to follow, as you keep abreast of the news, a strange sense lingering in your minds that perhaps this isn't all over, it can't be over, you begin to see articles in the newspaper, bodies found on farmland and isolated properties throughout Ross's Corner. Farmhands, labourers, children,
Am I a warlock
Torn-
in Call of Cthulhu now?
You fucked up.
You're a dickhead.
torn asunder, eviscerated, and your heart sinks as you realise that all you managed to do was set the creature free, allowing it to hunt victims at its leisure. in Ross's Corners, the surrounding countryside, and perhaps, eventually, one day, maybe Arkham. I would like you all to lose 1d4 sanity with this realization.
Of course, I lose. I lose 3, so I'm worse off than I was
Was it
before.
worth it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Ollie's done.
Okay.
Ollie has fuck all sanity. He's fucked.
Rewards for completing the scenario.
Rewards. Yeah.
You each gain 1d6 Cthulhu Mythos skill.
Yay. Oh, look at you,
Would've
more
gotten
power.
some anyway.
Yeah, in
Oh,
addition to what you've already got.
Fuck's sake, another 2.
3?
I am at 8.
8.
Yay, woohoo! What did it cost? Hey, did you do it? Yes, my child. What did it cost you?
Everything.
Yeah, well, I got
Oh, you got 6!
Yep.
I
Officer
got 2, so just...
Officer Rich.
I was meant to be stupid.
Officer Rich, you may add 1d10 to your credit rating to represent your promotion.
I don't know which one to use worse. You fucking agreed to take a deep pact with a fucking monster from some other plane of existence. You took credit for this shit, and you read the benefits. My dude's just a fucking mess now.
Yeah.
I don't think Ollie's coming back, because if you seriously come to him and say, hey, you want to come and help us with more shit, my dude will probably just fucking kill himself, because he went damn near insane.
I would have picked you up and brought you back. You got a friend. I'll
Yeah.
give you some nice prohibition liquor.
Fuck off, I will probably kill myself.
Okay,
with
we
it.
got from 9 to 11. It's a slight pay rise, but it takes you out of the poor category and puts you in average at least.
There you
So
go, you're out of the
you get
poorhouse.
some extra
Me?
cash. But
probably
and
just a
finally, you may select any 3 skills, including the same skill 3 times if you want, and add 1d6 points to it.
One D6, did you say?
1d6 for each selection. Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, if I
2d6.
decide to use a different character next time, do I have to do this part?
Um,
Because I legitimately don't think Ollie's coming.
no,
back.
if you're not going to use the same character, then no, you do not have to improve his
No,
skills.
I liked Ollie, but after what happened today, I don't think he's for a completely normal average guy to have
He's
to
not
witness
coming
that shit.
back.
You seriously tell him mention this shit. Hell, he's probably if I hadn't run off screaming insane, my words would have been along the lines of, if I see that old, I'm kind of glad that old guy's dead because if I'd seen him again, I'd have killed him. I'd have killed him twice.
On the bright side, retail is no longer as stressful as it once was.
Nope, that boy's gonna stack shelves happily for the rest of his poor fucking miserable life.
He's probably gonna hit the hit the bottle at some point.
Oh, the second prohibition ends.
Yeah.
Hell, even before prohibition ends.
I'll help you with your prohibition.
Yep. He'll come around and be like, yeah, I feel bad about what happens here. I got your presents. Just like, yep, keep it fucking coming.
I will add to my law.
Yes, get better at your law from your promotion.
So that's up to 40.
Hey, I just furthered the campaign, okay?
Yeah, what did he do for you, you piece of... How many people did you get killed in your bullshit?
Yep, but well, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah, you see the stars. My boy's looking at the bottom of a fucking bottle of whiskey, just going...
Hey, at least
Poor
you're not...
boots.
Yeah, well, I'm alive, but boy, howdy, am I not in a good place.
Poor boots.
Oh, M1's gonna be devastated. So, he's gonna come back and be like, oh, so how'd Boots go?
It wasn't my fault.
So
Hey, I made him go out of here, right?
it's okay.
By reporting.
His identical cousin Gloves will be back next episode who has the same stats and skills.
Mittens. His name's Mittens.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Mitten. What happened to having my cousin Boots? To shreds, you say? Well, did at least the guy we were trying to help, did okay? To shreds, you say? Well, I'm sure the people in the town probably felt grateful for us solving that. To shreds, you say?
So basically, you resolved nothing and had several meaningless deaths.
Yep, and several more afterwards. In fact, I'm
I got
pretty
a
sure
promotion.
that old lady in the charge of the store is now in charge of dropping the sun's population with every fucking passing day.
Yeah.
Because someone decided that, hey, fuck it, eternal power. That sounds like a good trip. Yay, team.
And thus concludes...
Keeping him?
Yeah, of course, why wouldn't he?
The only character that's not coming back's Ollie, because Ollie wants no part in
I
this
think
bull.
I'm going to be bitter towards you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna go that grizzled bitter cop now? Because you're the only one that knows what actually happened.
Talking about real life.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant both.
And thus concludes...
She's gonna have the mattress tonight. I'm gonna be stuck on the bed.
the first episode of Call of Cthulhu, Curse of the Pharaoh, Edge of Darkness. We hope you enjoyed it. It's certainly been fun. And we hope you will join us next time for the next episode, The Idol of Thoth.
Keep an eye out for Newt.
Oh, I was going to say, can I do the exit part this time?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, and for further adventures, the next time an ethereal being that has been known to rip the hearts out of mortal men offers you power beyond your wildest dreams, tell him to fuck off.
Reach for the stars!
I was just gonna say, until next time, when you see carefully placed wards to keep evil out of a structure, don't randomly cut bits of the wall off. Until next
See, it was kind of his own fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boots kind of fucked himself over, but you made it worse. So much worse. Don't be trying to switch
See
up
ya,
like that.
everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.